Yes, your job is enforcement, but diffusing potential life-death situations should be a priority. Leadership clearly knows federal agents are in danger from disturbed people in Minnesota. Adjustments have to be made. However, it is absolutely true that the man shot dead on Saturday actually sought his own demise. Sane people don't bring loaded guns and then confront law enforcement officials. The man's family should be respected and his loss mourned, but he himself orchestrated his own demise, and I hate to say that. Finally, President Trump should begin supervising these events in Minnesota directly. He doesn't have to back down, but reasonable dialogue should be put on the table. Back in a moment. By now, you've probably heard about All Family Pharmacy. They're fast, reliable, and committed to getting you the medications you need without the runaround. When everyone around you is sick and you know you have to be prepared, or when you don't want to wait in line for maintenance meds, you absolutely need All Family Pharmacy. They've got antibiotics, antivirals, Tamiflu, ivermectin. Order online at allfamilypharmacy.com/bill. Use code BILL10 to save 10%. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com. Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Good morning, freedom fighters. Good morning, Kenny Williams.
Morning, Vic.
How you doing, baby?
I'm great, man. How about you?
All right. Thanks for putting together another great show today. Senator Nick Schroer is going to be along here in just a bit. I heard it on the X coming up at 9:25. Perfect day for Kenneth Abramowitz. We've talked to him before. Great author, The Multifront War, Defending America from Political Islam, China, Russia, Pandemics, and Racial Strife. He'll talk to us on today, which is Holocaust Remembrance Day.
Yeah.
So a very important day. Drew Thomas Allen, Dr. Tobes. That's what we call Dr. Tobes.
Yeah.
Tobes. Chat box at 11:41. Ken, you got somebody to do the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes, I do, Vic. Let's let her introduce herself. How about that?
Okay, go right ahead.
Hi, this is Kathy with Connor Roofing.
Hi, Kathy.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Fantastic. Okay, so Minnesota's still a hotbed, still a story, still the top story, I think, Ken. And it's got to come to an end at some point. Apparently, President Trump and Tampon Boy had a good conversation, and Jacob Fry, too, had a conversation with President Trump. And they're trying to come to an agreement that ICE will pick up the worst of the worst, the murderers, the rapists, the child predators, and let local law enforcement take care of the people who are just here illegally. That seems fair.
Well, I think it's a move that President Trump is doing with the art of the deal. He's removing the deflection, let's put it that way, for fraud. In other words, he's removing all of that so that, okay, we're going to get rid of all these bad people, but now we're going to focus on fraud.
Ken, that's brilliant. That's exactly what he's doing. What, are you playing chess with him lately?
A little bit.
Okay. Now let's talk to the senator.
He's known by many names.
We, the people are in charge. We are going to save our republic.
Nikki Two Shows, Schroer the Thrower. Twitter trolls love to hate him.
We love Vic Porcelli so much.
He's Nick Schroer, Missouri State Senator.
Good morning, State Senator.
Good morning. I'm glad you made it in 2 days in a row. I'm proud of you.
Look at that, huh?
You know, I'm sick of you guys making fun of me about that, all right? I'm done.
Hey, man, you made it in. That's
twice.
You showed us.
Yeah, showed you.
You defeated your anxiety, all of the craziness. But you know what? after we lit a fire under MoDOT, they did a good job.
Yes.
Give credit where credit's due.
You do. Yeah, very, very good observation there, Nick. I agree, man. They did a great job.
Boy, they took a beating last storm.
Well, yeah.
And they didn't want that again. So, yeah, you're right. And you know what? This snow was so light. I think that was part of my decision to come in because I didn't even shovel my walk. I swept it with a broom.
Well, on Facebook, and I don't like Facebook. I always talk about how I don't like Facebook, but sometimes there's a good thing when you have like the neighborhood little people, neighborhood people talking, and they were suggesting that you use a snowblower, or not a snowblower, a leaf blower for the snow.
Yeah.
And I tried it and it worked.
Yeah,
I was like,
great.
wow, this is cool.
And then we had the kids.
I don't know what kind of snow you guys got. We got a damn foot out in Defiance, Missouri. And when that first little snow came in, yeah, you could. I even, I saw it and I showed the girls that you could use the leaf blower, but then after about 10 minutes, it was covered up again. And once we got that foot of snow, I had to get out there with the shovel.
My anxiety level was just over the top. So I did it. I did like the fear factor thing. I drove to work. All right.
Joe Rogan would be proud of you.
Thank you.
You're right.
Rules for thee, but not for me. An ode to the Missouri Supreme Court. What in the hell is that all about?
Well, in our time, in the Missouri Freedom Caucus's time, and I'm not just saying, since our inception just a couple of years ago, because we're going on our third year, but since most of the members have been in the legislature, we've seen this bait and switch by the Missouri Supreme Court time and time again. And I was playing Monopoly with the girls over the weekend. Snow, you can't go outside. It's freezing out there. So we were playing Monopoly, and we all know that that's going to take a hell of a long time. It's got a lot of rules. If you land on boardwalk, you got to buy it, then you can put houses, and you got to pay rent. Well, the girls started making up their own rules, and how fun that is. So I kind of liken dealing with the Supreme Court like dealing with two young girls that are just making up the rules as they go. If it benefits them, if it benefits their plan, then so be it. And if they want to crack down on you and have strict rules, even though they're not playing by them, they're going to do that. That's exactly what the Missouri Supreme Court has been doing, at least for the last 10 to 20 years. And you can look back at Clean Missouri. There's a requirement, and I think it's a good requirement, that these bills have to be single subject. If you're going to have bills on sports betting, you can't have bills on elementary and secondary education or crime or something like that. It should be single subject. But then Clean Missouri came along, and we all called it Dirty Mo. That was the maneuver funded by out-of-state billionaires that was going to change ethics reform, lobbyist reform, all these flowery things. But then they had right in the middle of it giving the state auditor at the time, the only Democrat at the time on the statewide ticket, the power that the legislature has, and that's redrawing these districts. They said, yeah, that's fine. It all kind of to one another on ethics reform. So a lot of the legislature has been implementing rules and legislation for those rulings. And you look at Medicaid expansion, there's another requirement in state law and in the Constitution that says if you're going to have a bill or a ballot initiative, which Medicaid expansion was, another out-of-state funded dream of the far leftists, but this had no funding mechanism. It said, yeah, you're going to have to increase Medicaid to certain populations, to the 25-year-old sitting in his parents' basement. You got to cover him too, but there was no funding mechanism, and it violated the Constitution. It violated state law. Again, the court says, yeah, we don't care about that. Let's usher it on through. So it's this back and forth of benefiting the Democrats when they go lax on the rules. And then when we start looking at that rule book saying, okay, well, that's the new court precedent. That's how they're defining this. Let's legislate pursuant to that, which happened in Senate Bill 22 this year. And I don't know if you guys remember, this is, a lot has happened since then, but there was a bill that dealt with keeping the ability with the Secretary of State, not the courts, because the courts have gone out of control. This bill is all about limiting the courts and keeping the power in the Secretary of State to redraw the ballot initiative language, whether it's on abortion, sports betting. We're taking that away from the courts. They shouldn't have it to begin with, and the legislature and the Secretary of State would have that. That's what that bill was, reining in this out-of-control judiciary. Another provision that was put on there was allowing the Attorney General, when the judiciary gets out of control, to appeal these preliminary injunctions that can take years when they're trying to neuter a bill by the legislature. So it was all about reining in out-of-control judiciary. The court says, nah, those things don't relate. We're throwing the whole thing out. So a lot of Republicans are ticked off, and a lot of Republicans on the heels of the state of the judiciary, when the Missouri Supreme Court gets to come in and address the House and the Senate this Wednesday, a lot of Republicans are fed up. It's not just the Missouri Freedom Caucus, but you're going to see the Missouri Freedom Caucus leading an effort to put this hypocrisy, I guess you can say, or this lack of consistency under the microscope.
Left pushing hard on the abortion bill. I saw a news story last night. And they love to call it reproductive health care. They're afraid to call it abortion. And they're going to fight hard on keeping this, abortion on demand state instead of a no abortion state.
Yeah, it's interesting. Last week, right after we spoke, there was like 6 or 7 chartered buses that came up to the Capitol. It's not like some old, Winnebago that you buy off Facebook Marketplace for $250. These things were the real deal. And you had people with catered lunches. They had, pictures outside with all of these caterers that came in. When they get off the buses, they're getting T-shirts fitted to them, pre-printed T-shirts, pre-printed signs. We don't know where the hell this stuff's coming from. We don't know who's funding that. I'm calling on all statewide officials to utilize to the fullest extent of the law to see who is funding this stuff, because it is trying to benefit a measure to take down Amendment 3. And we had a bunch of these blue-haired Karen white liberal ladies, banging on my door. And when I had to go up to the Senate floor, they kept saying that they want to know how I feel on abortion, which anybody who's paid attention to Missouri politics knows.
You're right, exactly.
Schroer feels on abortion. And I finally turned around and told him, I said, look, this is murder. Abortion is murder through and through. It's not productive health care. It can't be health care when you're ending the life of one being. And they lost it. And again, I don't know who's ushering this all up, who's stirring the pot, but they've got a hell of a lot of money. They're going to continue fighting us on this. They're going to continue fighting us on anything that's stopping this progressive socialist wet dream from becoming reality in the state of Missouri.
Nick, they're edstoiting is what they're doing, right? Everything Democrats say, the opposite is true. So they decided to call it reproductive rights. When you're not reproducing, you're underproducing. You're killing babies. It's just like everything they do.
You're subtracting.
Exactly. Inflation Reduction Act. Sorry, didn't reduce the inflation. Affordable Care Act. Sorry, couldn't afford it. You know what I mean? They're so good at lying. They're so good at edstoiting. That's why we made edstoit.
Well, and that's why I urge everybody to. Look, I'm a First Amendment purist, so you guys say what you want to say. But I don't say gender anymore. When I was growing up, you think gender, but then you think about that and you researching where did that come from. Dr. Money was the guy who this. Oprah Winfrey even had this guy on who botched circumcision when he had two twin boys, botched the circumcision, tried to create female parts for the ultimately one died because of the other died because of all of the mental anguish that went there. But guess what he did? That was the start of gender. That was the start of this gender movement within the United States, and it's gone crazy. There is no such thing as gender. It's another made-up thing that the left has done. You have sexes, male, female. That's that. And I think when you break it down to the most common sense terms like that, we can solve a lot of the world's problems by just stop doing what the left is demanding. I don't care what pronoun you want to be called by. I don't care if you feel like a furry or a unicorn or a kitten and you want to go use the litter box. That's your own prerogative. You're not going to force me to live in your warped reality.
Yeah, I get it, Nick. Hey, Ken, I'm just looking ahead here. I think now might be a good time to play that Joey Jones audio we got this morning.
Yeah.
Joey Jones, you know who he is, right, Nick?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He was on the 5 yesterday, and he did this 3-minute monologue that blew me away on the whole Minnesota thing, on the Alex Preddy thing. We're just going to play about a minute of it, but, we're all in this room, you, me, Ken, Second Amendment absolutists, okay? But listen to what he says about the right to carry a weapon.
It's a couple of things. Number one, the Second Amendment is a right. I'm a Second Amendment absolutist. You have the right to carry a weapon to defend yourself, not the privilege. It is a right. Those rights come with restrictions. I think you would understand that more than anyone at this table. One of those restrictions is you have to have your ID and your permit on you. We don't know. Current reports are he didn't have either one of those on, at which point he's not carrying legally. But number two, even beyond that, with the right to carry a firearm comes the responsibility to do it correctly and to do it with foresight and to do it understanding the situation you're walking into and what could happen once you get there. Just about every state offers a class on that. And if you carry your firearm, you should take that class. And if your state charges you for it, you should go protest for that class to be taxpayer funded because it is a right. So that's important. We can talk about policy all day long. There's only one person in this world that could have absolutely prevented Alex Pretty from getting shot that day, and it's Alex Pretty.
So interesting, right? I mean, it's a right. You know, there are restrictions on any rights, and you have to have. He goes on to say later, if you don't have your ID and your carry permit, you no longer are carrying that firearm legally.
Well, you know, I think it's a red herring. I think the entire gun issue of this guy, it's a red herring. And look, it's a tragedy. Just like when the lady ran over an officer with her car and was in the middle of traffic doing this to impede law enforcement from getting these illegals out of here. I'd never wish anybody to lose their life. But like he said, the people that could have stopped this from happening is the lady behind the wheel, last name Good, and this guy Pretty. And I don't care if he had a gun on him or not. He was impeding a lawful arrest. He was standing in the way of law enforcement. And just because he had a gun on him, I think that is a contributing factor to the police believing, okay, this guy could be a threat. If he's got one weapon on him, could it be another one? And when he's reaching for something, I've heard 15 different iterations of this. The jury's still out as to how this happened, what happened. You obviously see law enforcement stepping back, believing that there is a threat there. They know that he had at least one gun on him. I've heard maybe the gun went off. I've heard maybe they disarmed him before the shot went off. I've heard many different stories, but let's not forget, he was standing in the way of law enforcement. He was a signal that was trying to stir the pot and get in the way of law enforcement and stop them from getting these pedophiles and murderers. And if he wouldn't have been doing that, he wouldn't have gotten shot. If he wouldn't have been standing in the way, and you can see him recording the whole time. I can't wait for that body. I can't wait for the footage from his phone to see what was he saying. Was he saying that I've got a gun? Was he saying I've got several guns on me? Was he reaching for a phone instead of his gun, and they thought it was a gun? Who knows? Who knows? But law enforcement shouldn't have these knuckleheads standing in the way of them. We saw for 4 years when Joe Biden was in office, didn't have any riots, didn't have anybody in law enforcement, actually did in the lives of people during those 4 years. When Obama was bombing the crap out of third world countries and deporting people, you didn't see these Democrats with these well-funded signal chats and you know, all of these boxes that are out there with designer masks where they can't even spell that word right, and hand warmers and coats. You didn't have any of that organized terrorism that we're seeing in Minnesota right now. So again, let's get back to the basics here. The guy was part of a well-funded effort to try and impede law enforcement. He got in the way. If he would have just stood out of the way and let law enforcement enforce federal law, we wouldn't be having this conversation today.
All right. Now, I know we're late, but I was talking about when Joey Jones was saying if you don't have your ID and your permit on, you're not legally carrying a firearm. You made a face. What were you thinking when I said that?
No, I agree with you. I think, but I think it's something that
made you mad about it.
It's automatic. I just think what I was thinking about that very moment, you guys, is it's so stunning to me, very interesting that the left will be so against the Second Amendment. We want your guns.
Until now, yeah.
We need your guns until this, and then now after this, it's going to be the same thing.
Exactly. Well, we're right back to where we were. All right, State Senator.
Keep in mind,
yes.
Countless attorney generals of Democrat states were testifying against allowing people to lawfully carry at protests like this. It's just funny how it's Ed Stoit all over again, that they were against it, now they're for it. They can't even make up their mind.
Sunday night, 6 to 8. Stand and fight, brother.
We'll see you there. We'll be standing, we'll be fighting, we'll be praying for you guys to have a great week. God bless y'all.
God bless you, Senator Schroer. We'll see you, buddy.
Nice and loud for sliding the family stone, Kenny. Just so the thing. I wanna take you higher. By the way, Sonia Dada does a kick-ass version of this as well.
Oh, really? I never heard that.
It's on some of their live stuff.
Okay.
So good.
Oh, wow. I bet they would. Yeah, they'd kill this.
Think about all the voices, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, love it. Wait. Nice laugh. Boom, shakalaka, like a boom, shakalaka.
Yeah, that's Sonia Dada all over, man. Wow.
Heard It on the X is next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Like and subscribe to us on Rumble. News Talk STL. Vic and Ken. Vic has great hair. Ken has great, baseball caps? The Vic Porcelli Show on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Concerned about the condition of your windows driving up your energy bills? I was too. It's only called STL Windows and Doors. Call today for your free in-home estimate and start saving tomorrow. 314-277-5952 or stlwindowsanddoors.com.
Hey, it's Susie Moore. If new flooring makes you think hassle, think again, because Michael's Flooring is changing the game. For over 30 years, Michael's has been locally owned and trusted for quality, variety, and amazing service. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, laminate, luxury vinyl, or ceramic tile, their expert team makes installing new floors exciting, not stressful. That's why customers keep coming back. Visit Michael's Flooring at St. Peter's, Starting Prairie, Creve Coeur, or online at igotfloored.com. That's igotfloored.com.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL 101.9. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
If you have a phone, you have a radio.
Download the all-new News Talk STL app.
Love the all-new Newstalk STL app.
On my way to work in the morning.
Usually I'm in the car.
I listen on the app in my car every morning going to work.
Download the News Talk STL app and listen anytime, anywhere. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Some of these protesters hold up signs proclaiming gays for Gaza. They might as well hold up signs saying chickens for KFC.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Or Women for Sharia Law.
That's right.
Idiots. All right. Welcome to our...
That has a ring to it, though, Vic. Women for Sharia. Women for Sharia. Right. Can you imagine them just saying that? I can imagine it. There's a chance.
If it gets to that, then they get what they deserve.
Right. They're heading that way anyway.
Right. But do they know? I mean, you and I look at videos of women getting beaten in the streets in these Islamic countries, but does the normal housewife, normal person, woman who works 9 to 5, do they look at those videos and see what's going to happen?
I really believe that they are in a position where they think, well, we'll be overlooked because we're helping. Yes, it's going to pertain to every other woman, but because we're helping,
me,
well, I'm the liberal woman, okay,
and
because I am, it's going to be overlooked.
It's the same thing of people who are cheering for socialism and cheering for communism. Well, I always use this example. Kim Jong-un had his own uncle taken out back and shot.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter who you are, how much you helped. If Kim Jong-un's got a headache that day, he may take you out back and shoot you.
I am trying to refer to this meme that I saw recently about Iran and all the poor people that are being murdered right now. There's over 35,000 to date, Vic.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to do something, but we can talk about that later. But I saw this meme and it was all the people who were protesting the Shah of Iran back in the day to get the theocracy in. They wanted socialism. They wanted a form of socialism in their country. Those people are all now dead.
And that's our lifetime, Ken. That was 1979.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is those people who fought for the theocracy and to become
their reward was to get killed.
And now they turned around and looked at them and said, okay, now we're going to take care of you.
Yep. It's bad news. It really is bad news. And I said to my wife yesterday, I said, what do they do with all these bodies? 30,000 people. What do they do with them?
Putting them in 18-wheelers.
And bring them where?
We don't know. But something needs to be done. The world is watching this, and they're not doing a damn thing.
Right.
Including the Trump administration. I don't know what they're doing, but they need to help these people. This goes on every few years, and this is an opportunity to change the world.
And we say it's not the Iranian people we don't like.
No.
It's just the stupid Islam, leaders that we don't
They're
like.
the purveyors, the theocracy there are the purveyors of all of the terrorism in this world. I'd say, okay, I'll be realistic here. I would say probably 80% of it.
No doubt. They are the number one state-sponsored terrorism. They're bad.
Yeah, they're bad.
Yeah. Son of a BB. I heard it on the X. All right. So Kenny and I scour X at night, and we find some things we want to read to you.
Or Vic does.
Okay, so I do. Ken doesn't do anything for the show. He just shows
nope,
up.
I just show up.
Yeah, right. Okay, so we'll start with Steve Ferguson, whoever he may be. He said, do you remember in the early days of the Trump administration when Doge was finding massive fraud costing taxpayers hundreds of billions? How come not one person has been arrested for fraud? Doge was finding waste and fraud. Fraud is against the law. Hello?
That's all part of that frustration we experience on the left. And I'm talking about not Republicans, just Republicans. I'm talking about MAGA and conservatives. We are so frustrated over this whole thing.
Yeah, exactly right. All right, now we're going to have to talk about this. This is by Becca. TD Grammy 2 is her actual handle. How is the medical field infested with hateful liberals who didn't take their oath seriously? Be careful who you trust in the medical world, MAGA, because there are people in the medical world, whether you want to hear this or not, won't treat you if you're MAGA. I don't know how they know that. If you come in with a car accident, how are they going to know you're MAGA or not?
I can tell you, and I'm sure there are a lot of people who could vouch for this. If you go in for any kind of medical, like if you go to an urgent care or even your doctor, your primary doctor, do not mention anything about politics ever.
I never do anyway.
But some people do, and sometimes it slips out. And I would never do that. I don't think actually any of my doctors know exactly what I do. I think one of them knows I'm in radio, but I could have been in music radio as far as they were concerned. But honestly, I don't trust that.
Well, it's not just I don't either. They gave a Hippocratic oath: do no harm. It doesn't say do no harm to liberals or do harm to people who are conservative. That's not what the Hippocratic Oath says.
Right.
It says do no harm. And there was a nurse practitioner who said that, I guess she was talking about Erica Kirk, but Erica Kirk's not pregnant right now, is
No,
she?
Caroline Levitt.
Right, Caroline Levitt.
Yeah.
I hope her baby dies, or I hope something happens to her. And
There were two different examples you're thinking of, and I've seen both of them. The first one was, and she got fired from her job
good.
as a practitioner or whatever she was. She delivered babies. That was her main job.
Yeah.
Okay, so what she said was, this. I hope she splits from back to front and never can go to the bathroom again or something like that. It was that disgusting. That's a person who does this for a living. And the other person said, I hope she loses the baby immediately or something to that effect.
These are people who took an oath of do no harm.
And take care of people.
And last week, you and I and Dr. Tobler had a long conversation about it doesn't matter how much health care costs if health care sucks.
Yes.
You have to have good health care no matter how much it costs.
Right? Yes.
And that is not good health care. Wishing somebody's baby dies or hoping that split apart or whatever, you know?
What a horrible feeling that we have to go into a doctor's office and worry about that at all.
It's crazy. I keep my mouth shut.
Yep.
Say ah. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Okay, this is from Gunther Eagleman.
Oh, okay.
Just in.
You know, his brother follows me, by the way.
His brother?
Hunter.
Hunter Eagleman?
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was a Hunter Eagleman.
Yeah.
And he follows you? What, he's showing off?
I am kind
of. God. FBI Director Kash Patel just told Benny Johnson he's opened a full investigation into Signalgate, the encrypted network radicals use to hunt, stalk, and sabotage ICE agents in Minneapolis. Great work. And by the way, Alex Preddy was an admin on one of those Signal messaging apps for the ICE project.
Yeah, they're investigating this app. The app itself, I mean, they use it for many different things, but this particular chain, they're investigating it.
Okay, Primrose 771646. GOP, stand firm. Trump's immigration crackdown is tough, but necessary. Minneapolis proves we need enforcement, not weakness. Back the boss. I'm all for that.
That's
Back
like
the
being
boss.
on the offensive, Vic.
Exactly, yes, Ken. I know we're just two guys here in the middle of the country, but everybody needs to hear be on the offensive. Don't let them get a second ahead of us. And our final installment today is from our friend Sandra D.
All right.
Yeah, Sandra Danholt. Her actual handle is Sandra D. Farmer. She says, while grocery shopping in the run-up to the storm, I learned that I'm now officially old enough to look like I know stuff. A woman asked me, what kind of potatoes are good for beef stew?
There's so much there, Vic. That it's great.
You know what? It's so funny how I think I refuse to believe that I'm a senior citizen. You know, when they do things for Social Security, that's to help our elderly.
Yeah.
Christ, I'm elderly. I'm elderly.
Well, I always thought, what does a person over 50 think? What does a person over 60 think? I've always thought that. And really what it is you're still that 30-year-old, but you're old. You know what I mean? You're mentally that you're that 30-year-old person, and then you're looking at, I am. I guess I'm 65 now.
Your body says 65, but your brain says 12 years old. That's how I look at it.
It does.
Yeah. All right, so listen, there's a great event we'd love you to attend. It's the Freedom 13 Support Our Troops Gala. Takes place February 27th at the Foundry Arts Center in St. Charles, 6 to 11 o'clock. The Freedom 13 organization created to not only remember and honor Jared Schmitz from Wentzville, also his 12 fellow American heroes, but every American hero that made the ultimate sacrifice. Go to NewstalkSTL.com for details and to get tickets from 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Almost hit it.
Follow us on Rumble at News Talk STL. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Biden's being Biden's being an extremist.
Oh, son of a gun. You thought I was going to say son of a bitch, didn't you?
On News Talk STL.
I just want you to know, Ken played that to make fun of me as much as he did to play.
It was funny when you did it.
Oh, it happens. It happens. Okay. It's a great song, isn't it?
It is.
They Begin
Very
by the
good,
Call.
yes.
So Connor Roofing, Kathy Connor is, she's busy. Man, she is busy on Facebook and busy on social media. And she doesn't just put up, hey, if you need a roof, call us. She has, here's a dog that needs to be adopted, right? A lot of different causes, a lot of different charities that she brings to light in her Facebook page. And a lot of people follow her, so that's important. But it shows you that they're human and they're real and they will take care of you and they want to know if they did a good job. I invite you to go to Google reviews, right? Yelp, if that's even a thing, whatever. But go there and find Yelp's still a thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so go to Yelp and type in Connor Roofing, and make sure it's Connor Roofing here. There may be another Connor Roofing somewhere else in the country. I don't know. But this is the only Connor Roofing that matters. And they'll tell you, yep, Kathy called me, and we had a great conversation, and I told them they did great work, and they did do great work. and that's why we stand up for Connor Roofing. So find him on the internet, ConnorRoofing.com, CONNER Roofing.com.
Columbo and Company.
Join us every day for conversations with a wide variety of guests as we keep you informed and up to speed on all the important news and headlines you need to know.
Live and local, weekdays at 2 on Newstalk STL.
When water troubles strike, call the family you can trust. Tim Jones here for Ambassador Plumbing, serving our community since 2018 with 25 years of master plumbing expertise from Tim Morris and his hand-picked team. Whether it's a simple faucet repair or a complete bathroom remodel, if water runs to it or through it, they do it. From residential service calls to commercial to new construction, the folks at Ambassador are your neighbors treating you like family. Ambassador Plumbing, where faith meets craftsmanship. 636-383-6932 or ambassadorplumbing.com. That's ambassadorplumbing.com.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com.
Whoosh.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019.
Hi, this is Joe DeVito, and you're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show on Newstalk STL. We've already had our 2-drink minimum. How about you?
Y'all see when them people invaded that church the other day? Now, I just want to say to protesters and all of them, don't do that here.
Yeah, baby.
Amen. Don Lemon, don't come here.
That's right.
You roll up in this church doing stuff like that, and it's going to be the Royal Rumble. And the funny thing is, I'm not joking.
I don't think he's joking, Vic.
That is Reverend Patrick L. Wooden Sr., who is the pastor of a black church. And he said, Don Lemon, you want to try that here? It's going to be a Royal Rumble, you know. And there's something about black churches that I love to listen to when the congregation goes, yeah, that's right, amen, you know. And do you remember Diamond and Silk?
Oh, yeah.
Diamond would say stuff, and Silk would go, that's right.
That was her role.
Right.
It was emphasis.
And now she's got to do it all herself.
I know.
So, I don't know, did Diamond die of COVID?
I don't remember now.
I don't either. But they were good. And this black pastor says, no, don't, Don Lemon, don't you be coming to my church.
And I really have a feeling if they're okay at that church, because Don Lemon's a racist.
Yeah,
the reason why he went to that church in particular is because, well, they were calling them all white supremacists.
That's right. So don't worry about it, Patrick Wooden. You're good.
You'll be okay.
Okay. So there's some other stuff I want to hear, Ken.
Yeah.
Can we hear number 5?
You got it.
I would like to apologize publicly to Senator John Fetterman. And this is not political. This is just being a human. When he had a stroke, didn't he have a stroke?
Yeah, and we didn't really know the severity or anything.
But he had a stroke.
Yes.
And we knew that.
Yeah.
I don't think we needed to know the severity to know that he had a stroke. And let's not make fun of the guy who had a stroke.
No. What we were doing at the time, if you remember, Vic, he was requiring to have a television so he could read the words because he couldn't understand them. And we were taking the stand that if you're going to be a full-blown senator that's supposed to be helping your constituency, then you need to be fully functional.
Yep.
And that was it. We weren't making fun of him at all.
He also needed that, excuse me, a little air under my diaphragm there. He needed that screen for the debate against Dr. Oz.
Right.
And hi, good night, everybody. I mean, that's how his brain was not really working right, you know. And at that, this is crazy, okay? This is going to sound crazy. During that debate, I was like, there's no way this guy can be a senator. They better elect Dr. Oz over there in Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, right.
And they didn't. They elected John Fetterman, and now he's the only Democrat with any common sense. Anybody who's got the guts to say anything different than the party line. Am I right?
I think it's stunning that he's even a Democrat any longer because it extends further than what we're talking about here. Normally, you'll see these people like, I'll just throw out an example. Joe Rogan. Oh, you think he's MAGA, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's not. You just have to be real careful. John Fetterman, for whatever reason, he's just common sense.
Yeah.
I mean, you listen to him, and even when he's got a topic that favors a Democrat, you're like, well, yeah, it does make sense, though.
Right. So let's go on. Joe Rogan, Bill Maher.
Bill Maher,
right?
yeah.
Bill Maher.
Big time.
I don't even know how to word this. He was such a staunch Trump-hating liberal for so many years, right? And then he started saying, well, he's right about this. He's right about that. Hey, I'm going to go to the White House and have dinner with him. And Democrats lost their mind, right? They canceled him. So recently he had David Spade and Dana Carvey on his podcast. And they was talking about how he got canceled and everything. And Dana Carvey said, I consider myself a Clinton liberal, which if I say any of those things now, I would be a Nazi.
Yeah.
Isn't that brilliant?
Yeah.
Because honestly, Bill Clinton said, State of the Union, the age of big government is over.
I believe that together we can make America great again.
Yeah. Illegal immigration. So much stuff that Bill Clinton said was right,
Yeah, back then, sure. I mean, that's when Elon Musk said, I didn't become conservative. The center moved away from, or I stayed in the center. The left moved further left.
And that's exactly what Dana Carvey means. Is he's a Clinton liberal, which if he said he was now, he'd be called a Nazi.
Yes.
Because to be a true liberal now, you have to be a crazy, abortion-loving, cop-hating weirdo.
Even further than that. I mean, honestly, if you really want to talk about what's going on in the Democrat Socialist Party, you've got to hate. You can't just hate the policies of the conservatives, Vic. You've got to hate the people. They're wrong, they're bad, and they need to be actually neutralized. That's what they're saying.
So let's hear some of John Fetterman, Democratic senator from Pennsylvania, on with, this is from Hannity last night, I believe, right? Okay.
President Biden did a terrible job, and our border was effectively open at that point. Whether Biden and Mayorkas did not secure our border, and I tried to warn my party back in 2023 that this would cost us in the election, and America deserves to secure our border. I don't know why every American can't agree with that thing. And another thing, it's the truth that we should all agree to deport all of the criminals, that are here in our nation right now.
That's a Democrat.
But listen, there's something he said in there that's very important when he said he was trying to warn them back in 2023 that you'll lose the election and you won't win another election. That's not what it should be about.
No.
It shouldn't be about, I'm saying this because I want to win an election. That's your typical politician everyone hates.
Yeah, yeah.
And Walt said it at a press conference over the weekend. He goes, they better fix this or they'll never win another election again. And I said to Jess, that's what it's all about for him? Just winning an election? Not criminals who are here illegally? Not the $9 billion in fraud that's being hidden right now with the wag the dog of the ICE protests?
What an amazing point. Okay, think about what you just said. This is what's driving them to become politicians. I heard someone say, if you strive to become president of the United States, to become president, you shouldn't be. Donald Trump, think about what he's going through right now. He makes some very unpopular decisions with the left. I'm not talking about the right. I'm talking about the left. He makes very unpopular decisions that have to be made for half this country, but for the whole country. I'm saying
for the whole country.
For the whole country, but half of the country doesn't like it, right?
Until it does them good, until it makes them more money.
But Vic, he doesn't care about whether or not he's going to become president. Of course he doesn't, because he can't anymore. But he didn't care about this the first term. He didn't care whether he was going to become president again or not. This was him making the right decision to make America the greatest country on earth.
Yeah. So John Fetterman makes a lot of sense. But God, please don't do things based on whether you'll get elected again or not. That's not the way to go.
It's just not right.
I mean, let's talk about Trump again for a second here. He doesn't even make a salary for what he's doing.
No.
And he never gets credit for that.
No. And a lot of their business had to be put on hold because of him being president. You know, they'd say, well, he's just making. What was the big one I heard just recently? He's making now listen to this. He's making worldwide contacts so when he gets out of office, he can utilize.
Right.
Okay, now think about that for a second. He already had major contacts in including China and Russia, in every major country in the world. He had those already. So he's going to become president in order to get contacts. They're idiots on the left. They don't think. They just want to throw that out there and see if it sticks against the wall.
All right, so we got some time here, Ken.
Yeah.
If this ICE thing ever subdues in Minneapolis, which it should now, I guess, with the deal that President made with Walz, number 21 is what I'm looking at, Kenny. Maybe we can get back to the investigation on is it 19 billion?
Oh, it's more than that now.
20 billion?
It's whatever. It's
I'm
over.
going to say 20. It's an even number.
That's a good number, yeah.
$20 billion fraud with phony daycare centers, the Quality Leering Center. I want a Quality Leering Center
I do
hoodie,
too.
by the way.
I know.
Damn it. It's got to be 3 X's though if anybody's thinking about buying it for me. When this is over, I'm not sure Walz wants this to be over because the focus is going to be back on him. You know, have you noticed we haven't mentioned Nick Shirley in 3 or 4 days?
Right.
Because of this whole wag the dog thing.
The good thing that the Trump administration, the cabinet has said, though, is that don't worry. I know all this stuff's going on in Tim Walz and Fry. They're trying to deflect, but we're still investigating.
I hope so. All right. So Alexis McAdams from Fox News talking about whistleblowers who told Congress that Walz and Keith Ellison ignored warnings for years about fraud.
Whistleblowers told a congressional committee Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison there ignored warnings for years as millions of dollars and millions were stolen on their watch. Congress is investigating a long list of massive fraud schemes in the state. It's hard to keep up. Prosecutors say it's led to at least $9 billion in fraud, Dana, and counting. Congress also asking why the Attorney General there would meet with a group of Somali fraudsters, which were under FBI investigation in 2021. The group can be heard in an audio clip given to us by Bach's lawyer offering to donate to his campaign if he can help them get their funding flowing again. Ellison denies any wrongdoing here. So we reached out to Governor Walz, too. He didn't get back to us. House Republicans say it's just getting started. They want to subpoena Walz and Ellison because they say they're responsible for ripping off American taxpayers.
They have to report that Ellison denies any wrongdoing here. Okay, what is he going to say finally? Is one of these politicians ever going to say, oh, yeah, you caught me. I guess I'm guilty.
No, they're never going to say that.
No.
Well, I can't win another election and say that because that's all that's on their mind.
Right.
Winning another election. You know, I remember when Keith Ellison was elected. I guess you're not elected. You're appointed, aren't you, Attorney General?
No, I think he was elected, Vic.
Okay.
From what I remember, because I was so stunned that he was still elected after all the stuff he was doing.
So the federal attorney general is appointed by the president.
Yes.
But state attorney generals are elected.
Yeah.
Okay. So I remember when he was running for attorney general, and somebody said, probably, you know what? It probably was Rush. It probably was Rush Limbaugh who said, he is a Muslim, he is a radical, and he is not the person for the job because he is evil. And how long ago was that?
Yeah.
So long ago.
Yeah.
And our eyes weren't open. That's the point. Our eyes weren't open because that's got nothing to do with being on the offense. Well, I guess it does. You know, somebody had to know. Rush Limbaugh was the voice of the conservative movement in this country, in the Republican Party. And if he said stuff, somebody on our side should have said, well, hey, did you hear that? Keith Ellison's a weirdo Muslim radical. So why didn't they do anything about it? And I'll be damned, he's still there as Attorney General.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he's entrenched now. Most states elected. Some states are appointed. Just depends on the state. State to state.
I don't know what the thing is in Minnesota.
Yeah. I think that was an election. I'll look it up, but I think that just from what I remember, Vic, because I remember thinking to myself, man, they still elected this guy after he beat his girlfriend, or it was either his girlfriend or his wife. And this was like a police report and everything.
Was that him?
Yes, that was Keith Ellison.
Because I know that the senator in Georgia, Warnock, is that his name?
That was another one.
He was another one who was beating his wife.
Yeah, no, this is...
And still got elected.
Yes. Keith Ellison allegedly beat his wife or his girlfriend. Allegedly.
I bet that wasn't on his campaign signs in the yard, huh?
No.
Vote for Ellison. He can take his wife. He can beat up his wife.
Right.
Okay, do we have time for one more?
Yeah.
Can I hear number 3?
Okay.
This is Governor Walz talking to Trump voters like he knows what we're thinking and he knows what we're all about.
Right.
You're allowed to decide at any point that you're not with this anymore. If you voted for this administration, heck, even if you thought Operation Metro Surge was a good idea, sounded like the thing to do a month ago, you're still allowed to look at what's happening here in Minnesota and say, this isn't what I voted for and this isn't what I want. I ask you not to stand by idly. Speak out, share what you're seeing, and urge others to put politics aside. We're no longer having a political debate. We're having a moral debate.
Put politics aside, but I don't have to.
Yeah, you're not right.
You guys put politics aside, but I don't have to. Don't tell me what I wanted and what I voted for, okay? You think I voted for your way of governing, the way you govern a state? Yeah, let's let all the crazy Islam Somalias in. That's what we voted for? That's what he thinks MAGA is?
Yeah, I think he's trying to, he has this idea that, well, yeah, man, I voted for all this. I voted for Trump, and I really thought that I liked what was happening. I just don't like it anymore. Just watching these people do this to these people is, Vic, I honestly, personally, I don't think they've gone far enough. I don't think Trump has gone far enough. I think it's a little slow out of the gate here. I think that he should be at least beating Obama and how many deportations he did, but he's not. And I think there should be a lot more. So if you're truly somebody who voted for President Trump and his policies, you're not going to be thinking like this, truly.
Yeah. And I agree with you, Ken, but it's kind of cool that he has less than Obama, so we can still say, what are you talking about? Obama deported more than President Trump did.
I hope at some point, though, he goes beyond him.
Yeah, but right now it's kind of cool to have that in our pocket.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
What are you talking about? Obama, look at all the people Obama deported. Why are you picking on Trump?
I was thinking about this the other day, Vic. Barack Obama, his administration were the ones who created the cages that children were put in. Oh. And by the way, Vic, they were all separated from their families before they were deported. Right. But nobody said a word.
Don't do that. You look like a weirdo when you do that.
I bet I do.
Because you're doing a weirdo. You're doing a good impression of a weirdo, but you look like a weirdo. So that's when I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, AOC said they're drinking out of the toilets. Do you remember when she said that?
Oh, yeah.
They were not drinking out of the toilets.
No, they weren't.
It's so amazing how, the whole Gestapo thing, and we'll talk about it with our next guest, actually, who we're going to talk to in just a bit, Kenneth Abramowitz. We talked about it first when we said that Walz was using Anne Frank and the Frank family as an example of what's going on now.
Yeah.
Even the Auschwitz Museum, Holocaust Museum, told them to cut it out.
Yeah.
So we were right on the money with that yesterday. How dare you compare this to Anne Frank?
Whoosh.
License number E2014A.
Hey, it's good to see you.
At Grasser Home Services, we're looking for happy plumbers to join our team. Plumbers who are polite, honest, and do the job right.
And love dogs. They must love dogs.
Plumbers who treat customers' homes with respect, care about the details, and show up on time.
Know a happy plumber who's great with dogs?
Have them call Grasser Home Services.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
If you turned 65 recently like me, it's important you find a Medicare Advantage plan that gives you the coverage you're looking for. But finding one can be difficult. The best thing I did, and I suggest you do the same, is call a licensed insurance agent and let them walk you through your Medicare Advantage plan options. There are so many benefits you have access to, so make the call now and let the representatives explain everything to you. Our licensed insurance agents can offer you a variety of Medicare Advantage plans. Plus, the call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation to enroll. We're here to make it easy for you to select a Medicare Advantage plan that may work for your needs. Finding a Medicare Advantage plan can be easy if you do what I did. Make a quick call right now to learn more. Thank you.
800-439-7851. 800-439-7851. 800-439-7851. That's 800-439-7851.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. Minnesota's chief federal judge, Patrick Schultz, is ordering acting ICE director Todd Lyons to appear before him on Friday to explain why he, Lyons, should not be held in contempt. The judge says the Trump administration has failed to comply with an order to hold hearings for those detained during immigration sweeps. And the Trump administration is shuffling the deck among those in charge of the immigration enforcement operation in Minneapolis.
A source tells the AP a senior Border Patrol commander and some agents are expected to leave Minneapolis. Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino has been at the center of the Trump administration's aggressive immigration enforcement surge in cities nationwide. Criticism of Bovino has intensified after he defended the shooting death in Minneapolis of Alex Preddy by Border Patrol agents. Bovino disputed claims about the confrontation that led to Preddy's death. President Trump has sent Border Czar Tom Homan to Minneapolis to take charge of immigration and customs enforcement operations. I'm Ed Donahue.
Countless communities in many states are struggling in the aftermath of the massive winter storm. It dumped so much snow in some places and laid down a thick blanket of ice in others. Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves.
Ice storms are different than virtually any other type of storm that we deal with. And it's particularly different when you see the ice come in and then 48 hours or so after the precipitation leaves, the temperature has still not gotten above freezing, and therefore it creates challenges in terms of getting assets deployed.
In Maine, there is speculation that the weather could have played a role in the crash of a business jet in Bangor. All 6 people on board that plane were killed. On Wall Street, stocks are mixed. The Dow is down 410 points, NASDAQ up 213. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Hey, I am Brant, and her name is Sherry, and she's a friend and a colleague of mine, and we were just praying for her, actually, because she had a major surgery she just went through.
Yes, and I am very happy about something you actually talk about all the time, which is Medishare. That's right.
Of course.
Yeah.
So what was your experience like with Medishare and your health care bills?
You know what? It was seamless, and that's such a blessing when you're already nervous about a health issue, which I was.
Yeah.
Members shared my expenses. There were zero problems, and let me tell you, having people pray with you when you call in, and it's just what you need. It's so refreshing.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling people. People love Medishare and saving tons of money. The typical family, I'm fond of saying, can save $500 a month.
I am so thankful for Medishare. It's so different, and I mean different in a very, very good way, Brant.
It is a good different. Call right now. They're so easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number. Call 844-94-BIBLE. That's 844-94-BIBLE. 844-94-BIBLE.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I'm meteorologist Chance Gotch with your first alert forecast, tracking mostly sunny skies. Highs looking to climb towards the 30-degree mark, but colder temperatures on the way throughout the overnight hours Tuesday night to Wednesday. Overnight lows back towards the 4-degree mark. We'll continue to track another warmer afternoon Wednesday, a high of 30 degrees, and colder air looks to filter in towards the upcoming weekend. A first alert weather day has been issued for Saturday morning with temperatures near the -2-degree point. For the first alert for Weather Center, I'm meteorologist James Gotch.
Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, you know, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Hello there. Welcome to hour number 2 of our 3-hour tour. Do you mind if I just take a quick sip? Coffee is especially good today. I don't know why. It's the same thing every day. You put the thing in, you hit the button, and it makes it. But for some reason, it's just particularly good. You know when you just have a good cup of coffee, even though you made it the same way you make it every day?
Well, I kind of experiment once in a while.
No, you're not a good example.
No, I mean with like mixing different coffees
you're like
together.
Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated
right.
when you make
A
coffee.
little bit.
Yeah. He mixes this, mixes that. I like what I like. I don't know much about art, but I know what I like. Okay, thanks. Okay. So coming up the rest of the show here today, Ken, we have so many loonies in the news today. Maybe we can do like Looney Tunes. I say we do that at 10:25. Drew Thomas Allen, 10:41. Dr. Tobler, when he comes on, I want to talk about the Hippocratic Oath, okay? Because I don't think you get to be a doctor, be a nurse, and say, I hope your baby dies. I don't think that's what a doctor or a nurse should do. Do no harm. That doesn't mean do no harm except if the person you're helping is MAGA. It's not how it works. It's everybody. And you got to put that stuff aside. I get it. We may not be on the same page politically. That doesn't mean you get to hurt me or do something mean to someone. Okay, can I tell you something funny? When I had my procedure back in 2017, I had this pheochromocytoma I had to get rid of. I had the biggest fear for some reason that once they put me out, once they put me under the anesthesia, that they were going to slap my ass and call me fatty. You know? I mean, I don't know why. I mean, what
was that the drug doing that to you?
No. This was weeks before, not weeks before, because the whole thing was only a couple of weeks. Days before the surgery, I said, "Are they when I can't hear them, when I'm under anesthesia, are they going to call me fatty and slap me in the ass and stuff and throw bean bags at my ass?"
They would if they were left wing and they knew you were a conservative.
Right, but they didn't, and they still did. I think.
No, they didn't.
No, I don't know. But can I say this doctor was so smart because this thing came out of my adrenal gland, and he did use bean bags, by the way. He put bean bags under my back so this thing would push to the front.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So when he could cut the front and just pull it out. Well, not just pull it out. He had to do a lot to get it out because it was connected to my adrenal gland, which is gone now, and my vena cava. This thing was attached. This thing was attacking me. It was attached to my vena cava. That brings blood to your heart.
Oh, wow.
Aorta pumps blood away from your heart.
I'm glad you explained it because I had no idea what you were talking about at that moment.
I can't think of the word. Artery.
Yeah.
It's the artery that brings blood to your heart, and then the heart pumps and then pumps out through the aorta and back to the rest of your body. And he had to slice that thing off my aorta without killing me. I could have bled out at any time.
If he would have cut that, forget it.
Yeah, it would have been over. I don't know how we got there.
I don't know.
Oh, slapping my ass, call me fatty. Yeah. So anyway, that was my fear. But he was a good doctor. He really was. Okay, so let's talk about. Do you have that waltz thing?
Not yet. I'll get it.
Okay, no problem. Because this isn't the first time that people are comparing the Trump administration and just conservatives in general to Nazi Germany. And I know you think you're tough when you're on Facebook because there's no repercussions, there's no accountability, even when your name is there, right? Facebook isn't, whatever your name is, your Facebook page is your actual name.
Yeah.
But there's really no accountability on comparing this administration to Nazi Germany, Trump to Hitler, Stephen Miller is Heinrich Himmler. It's just ridiculous. And the more they do it, the more I get mad.
And let me give a little bit of advice to the left if you're doing an argument regarding anything.
Listen up, left.
Just understand that once you say something like that, once you equate Trump or even his cabinet or anybody to Nazis, to Hitler, you've lost the argument, number one. Because it's just like cussing. Once you start calling people names in an argument, you're done. You've gone too far. There's no more conversation, debate. It's just an attack at that point. And what you're doing with that is it's uneducated, for one thing.
And you're speaking from experience. I know you are.
Oh, I am.
I just want people to know that when you put things up on X, the libs and lefties just go crazy on Kenneth, just beat him up for days.
And believe me, I have fun with it. I mean, I will attempt to have a debate with somebody. But you know what? In today's social media, Vic, it never comes out that way. It never ends up, like I'll start off, okay, and someone will make a comment about something, and I'll think to myself, how silly of a comment is that?
Yeah.
And then I'll reply with something that I think is more common sense, and boom, it's like, oh, you must live in the basement, and you're some kind of, and then the names come out. And I'm like, no, I'm talking about this. Oh, no, we're talking about this
Wait a minute.
now.
You're the one living in the basement?
Oh, yeah. Well, you don't know who people are. I mean, they have no idea.
Well,
basement dweller that eats Hot Pockets.
But the way you argue with people, they should know that you're not an idiot, and you're not a rube, and
but
you're not.
It doesn't matter to them, Vic.
in your mother's basement.
It doesn't matter to them. It really doesn't. And no matter what you say, they're going to come back at you with those names. And what I suggest to people who are thinking like we do on our side, ask questions. Just ask them about it.
So, when you do that, here's the reason why I wrote that op-ed piece, because when you call this administration the Third Reich and you think you're being funny, especially if you're a radio guy, by the way, or a TV guy or a news person of some kind, and you've flipped your lid and you enjoy calling Trump, Hitler, and this administration the Third Reich, it's just ridiculous. So the reason I wrote that op-ed was to let you know, because even if I say you're wrong, they are not the Third Reich. Trump is not Hitler. That's not enough, because you have to understand the people you are hurting right now with that kind of rhetoric, and those are the descendants of people who were actually in Auschwitz and in Dachau and were Holocaust survivors, right? Because it hurts them, and they've done nothing wrong to you. No. All they've done was to live and be Jewish.
Right.
Just like the people back then, because right now we're deporting people back to the country they came from. In the 1930s, they didn't send you back to your country. They killed you. Don't you understand the difference? 6 million people? The loss of life is terrible no matter how many it is. But there's been 2 lives lost in this Minnesota thing. Far cry from 6 million. So shut up about it.
And not only that, but the reasons why they passed is because of their own doing.
And today is Holocaust Remembrance Day. Let's talk to Kenneth Abramowitz. He is a great author of The Multifront War, Defending America from Political Islam, China, Russia, Pandemics, and Racial Strife. He's also the founder of SaveTheWest.com. Kenneth, thanks for being with us on a special day today. Appreciate it.
Sure, happy to be with you.
So I'd like you to hear this idiot, governor of Minnesota, and then we'll talk about it.
Many of us grew up reading that story of Anne Frank. Somebody's going to write that children's story about Minnesota.
Is this that? Is this Anne Frank? Are these kids Anne Frank? Is this Nazi Germany, Kenneth?
Well, this is a typical communist trick. And Waltz is a Chinese agent, never should have been allowed to run for governor. And I'm not even sure he is the governor because the elections are so corrupt in Minnesota. I don't know if people, they didn't check people for IDs or for citizenship. So anyways, he's an illegitimate governor in my mind. But focusing on the issue of the day, this is an illegitimate comparison. Anne Frank was guilty of being Jewish. Now, that's a real crime. These people that they're talking about in Minnesota, they're guilty for having broken into the country. That's a crime. And then they evidently committed crimes. That's a second crime. And then they resist arrest. That's a third crime. And the illegitimate governor of Minnesota is defending the criminals. Now, it goes back to one of the key issues that I always reiterate to myself, is Republicans believe in life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness for 100% of the people, minus the 10% who are criminals. Democrats believe in life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness only for the 10% of the people who are criminals.
Right.
That's the contrast between our two parties,
So
and
smart.
Walter is doing a great job highlighting that difference.
So the U.S. Holocaust Museum was outraged at that. Tim Waltz comparing this to kids not coming out like they're Anne Frank. And we said it yesterday before the museum said anything about it, because we yell about it all the time, Kenneth. Please don't compare this to Nazi Germany. Don't compare. Where are the gas chambers? There are no gas chambers. This is not that. But when the Holocaust Museum calls you out because you're trying to be a, what do they call it, Ken? Virtue signaling? Stop it, because they'll call you out like we called them out yesterday during the day. So I'm glad you and I feel the same way.
Plus, this is only half the story. The other half of the story is that Waltz and the other criminals illegally running Minnesota stole millions and millions, if not billions, from the federal government through that Somali scam that they were involved with. So this is a brilliant way for Waltz to deflect criticism of his criminality and then using an analogy that's like 100% false. So this is par for the course for communist agents.
It's wag the dog, is it not?
Yeah, he's deflecting the issue. The issue is he's a criminal.
Right.
And the issue is he was illegally voted in. So he's a double criminal, and then accuses the federal government of being a criminal for applying federal law, which is in our Constitution. So, you this stuff up. If I proposed a movie script based on this nonsense pretend a year ago and went to someone in Hollywood, they would laugh me out of their office. They'd say, this story is so stupid and fantastical, it can't, no one's going to believe it. And here it is, right in front of our eyes.
And Kenneth, I would contend that President Trump is playing a little game with him now by getting in touch with him, by getting in touch with the Mayor Fry and saying, okay, let's take care of this problem and make sure that everybody's okay and calm down. I think he's doing that so he can get back to the actual issue here, that's fraud. Because I think as long as these people are protesting and causing problems in Minnesota, we're not going to have any public knowledge of what's going on with the fraud.
Yes, that's right. And also, this is President Trump's personality. President Trump fights when he has to fight, but his first inclination is to talk, negotiate, embrace, I hate to say embrace, the bad guys and see what he can work out by being a Mr. Nice Guy. If that fails, then he becomes Mr. Tough Guy. So this is par for the course for President Trump, and it's a good strategy. I mean, we're always tempted to be Mr. Bad Guy, but he wants to be Mr. Good Guy first.
Yeah. We're talking to Kenneth Abramowitz. Let's talk about the book, The Multifront War Defending America from, ready? Political Islam, China, Russia, Pandemics, and Racial Strife. That's America against a lot of different people.
Yes. Basically, half the people in the world live in a democracy and half the people live in a dictatorship. So you could say it's a war between the dictatorships and the democracies. The dictatorships have declared war on and we don't know how to respond. So I wrote the book to guide people and our government officials and staff members as how to respond to evil right in front of your eyes. I identified three sources, big sources of evil, which I color code: the reds, the greens, and the blues. The reds are the communists, greens are the Islamists, and the blues are the globalists. All three of them, all unelected, by the way, dictatorships, have declared war on us, and we have to learn how to fight. And they have agents inside the U.S. Fighting us, too, and we're seeing it right in front of our eyes in Minnesota.
I'm on your website right now, SaveTheWest.com, and it's a good way to get a primer to what you're talking about and then dive into your book, The Multifront War. So what, because Ken and I always talk about Islam and not just Muslim. This is my quote to make it fair, I guess. Not all Muslims are Islamists, but all Islamists are Muslim, right? So with the Islamic way of not getting along with anyone, taking over all that Sharia law, I think that's one of the biggest fights that we have in the upcoming, I don't know, you tell me how many years.
Well, the war's been going on 1,400 years. But by the way, the Red War, the Communist War, has been going on 200 years since Karl Marx. The Green War, 1,400 years since Muhammad, and the Blue War, 100 years since the League of Nations, which then became the United Nations. So these are endless wars. We've been fighting them for a long time. We just live in this generation, but obviously lots of previous generations were fighting the same war.
Yeah.
And and all of the reds, greens, and blues not lie 99% of the time, which makes it difficult because we think people tell the truth, but the bad guys lie 99% of the time. But going to your question on Islam or Islamism, Islam is roughly a 50% religion and 50% political movement. The religion, in other words, what an individual believes, is protected by our Constitution. But the political movement is not protected and should be criminalized, as we're starting with the Muslim Brotherhood. The Muslim Brotherhood, which is a political organization, not a religious organization, is illegal in Egypt, Saudi Arabia, in the Emirates. How come it's illegal in the Muslim countries, but the Christian countries allow it to be legal?
Right.
So we're finally addressing that gap. The point I'm getting to is you can believe whatever you believe, but you can't impose your position on somebody else. That's immoral, unethical, and illegal.
Well, Kenneth, one concern, I have a big concern about Islam invading this nation because they're so incompatible with Judeo-Christian values in the Western culture. And I think what they're doing is they're trying to slide under the rug here, like just get inside and just grow as victims, as the minority, as someone that needs help. And then once they gain this hold, which is what they're doing right now in every city in this country, at some point they're going to become like in Minneapolis, like in Dearborn, Michigan, the majority. When they do, that's when the problems are going to begin. I mean, real problems.
Yes, and you just described why I have my book and my website, SaveTheWest.com, to alert people to these challenges, because it's easier to contend with like a disease. It's easier to contend with it when you catch it early. If you wait till it's late, you get into a full-scale war. And so you're exactly right. And we don't know how to handle Islamism. We have to criminalize it. It's not that complicated. When someone says, you have to become a Muslim or I'm going to kill you, I have no patience for that. That's Islamism. That's jihadism, and it should be illegal. It's not complicated.
I have no patience for killing me at all.
Not at all.
All right, listen, Kenneth, it was great to talk to you, especially today on, Holocaust Remembrance Day. We have a great guest that we talk to twice a week. Her name is Karen Cataline, and she gets very emotional when we talk about this kind of stuff. And we probably should have called her and said, hey, you want to talk today? Why are we so stupid? Kenneth, thanks so much. Go get his book. It's called The Multifront War. Can you get the book at SaveTheWest.com?
Yes.
Perfect.
SaveTheWest.com and sign up. It's complimentary. Take advantage of it.
All right. Kenneth, thank you so much. It was great to talk to you today.
You're welcome.
Take care.
He's got to be as outraged. I'm not even a Jew, Ken. I'm not even Jewish. And I was so hurt.
You don't want to see people hurt, though, Vic. It doesn't matter if they're Jewish or not. You just don't want to see I'm saying Vic Porcelli does not want to see people hurt.
Yeah. And for Waltz to say that this is Anne Frank, these kids are coming out because they're Anne Frank. They won't come out because they're Anne Frank. It's just insensitive and stupid and impeachable. Well, it's not impeachable, but it's so stupid.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, when we get back, how about some Looney Tunes after the Temptations?
Oh, yeah, let's do Looney Tunes.
Papa was a rolling stone.
You didn't do it.
That's next on 101.9 94.1. News Talk STL, #1 for live and local conservative talk.
Whoosh.
Stream The Vic Porcelli Show at NewstalkSTL. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Be cool, honey bunny. Be cool.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's NewstalkSTL.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Severe from Vicks.
Sinex Severe Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Severe instantly relieves nasal congestion and works 6 times faster than nasal decongestant tablets. The 12 hours of relief allow you to get back to the moments that matter without congestion.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Try Sinex Severe from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
1 in 4 women will have an abortion before the age of 45 in this country. That's the tragedy we must work to stop. Mike Ferguson from The Morning Show here, and that is why Reach Reproductive Health is here, to empower parents to save the lives of innocent children and to see these families come to Christ. And you can be a part of saving and changing lives. So pray and visit outreachforlife.org to learn more, volunteer, and donate. That's outreachforlife.org.
You talk about race relations.
This conversation has completely made me crazy.
This is complete insanity.
And I'm sick and tired of it.
101.9 and 94.1.
I find it to be a conversation starter.
News Talk STL. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. Vic and Ken.
2 of them together are just trouble.
The Vic Porcelli Show on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
What's that supposed to mean, ma'am?
I think it's pretty clear.
All right. Yeah. So listen. Keep it up. Keep it up. I told you before, there is never a moment in my life when there's not a song in my head, okay? It could be a jingle for Safe Light, right?
Right.
Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace. So I cannot leave the station today with this song in my head.
So what do you want me to do?
Play something later after the next break.
Okay, I will.
Okay?
All right.
Can you
All
do
right.
that?
Yeah, I can do.
Because 99.9% of the songs we bump in with are songs I would love to have stuck in my head.
So you're saying you don't like that song?
I'm not saying we don't play it because I don't like it.
I love it.
I don't like it for personal stupid reasons.
Okay. No, I get your reasons and it's okay, but I love the song.
I hate it. You want to go?
Want to go?
You want to fight me on this?
No, it's all right. It's okay.
It's your show. You're the one.
No, it's fine.
All right. Ken, since there's so many loonies in the news, let's do some Looney Tunes. Well, I'll be darned. Minneapolis has a goofy mayor. So does St. Paul right next door.
Yeah.
Aren't they the Twin Cities? Minnesota and St. Paul, aren't they the Twin Cities? Isn't that why the Minnesota Twins are called the Twins?
I think so.
All right, so number 6 is St. Paul Mayor Kahuli?
I don't know.
Cooley? That's what my grandma used to call your butt, Cooley.
I think your last name's Her.
Oh!
There's another part
so
of that.
So first name is Kahuli?
I think so.
So Kahuli Her?
Mayor Kahuli Her.
That's the mayor's name?
I think so.
Vote for Kahuli Her. How do you get elected even with... Okay. She's bragging about resisting ICE.
I am so proud of Minnesotans.
Oh, it's a woman.
That in the face of despair and anger and chaos, that they have pulled together. I personally have been with community where I was the person locking and unlocking doors at a supermercado in order to make sure that ICE wasn't entering the facilities. I've delivered groceries to people who were afraid to open their door, knowing that it was the mayor of St. Paul that was delivering their groceries to them, that they were still afraid.
I knew what was going to happen here, what she was going to say about the supermarket, but I knew she said it a different way, and I was waiting for you to
Spanish mercado.
But that's that whole virtue. That's that whole appropriation.
Yeah, right, and virtue signaling.
Yeah.
You know, and she didn't even, which I actually give her credit for. She didn't say mercado.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
She went supermercado.
I remember the first time that jumped out at me was when the news would call Nicaragua.
Yeah.
The news people, Nicaragua.
Yeah.
So to combat that, there was a tennis player, a French tennis player named Guy Forget, but I used to call him Guy Forget because that's how it's spelled.
Guy Forget?
Guy Forget.
Right.
So she would go into the supermercado and go shopping and deliver groceries. Is that what she's saying?
No, what she's saying is she would keep ICE out. Let me play it again.
Yeah, play it.
I am so proud of Minnesotans that in the face of despair and anger and chaos that they have pulled together. I personally have been with community where I was the person locking and unlocking doors at a supermercado in order to make sure that ICE wasn't entering the facilities. I've delivered groceries to people who were afraid to open their door, knowing that it was the mayor of St. Paul that was delivering their groceries to them, that they were still afraid.
She was the one who was delivering the groceries to the people who couldn't come out of their homes.
What's the population of St. Paul, Minnesota? 5?
I guess.
So she's delivering groceries to what, 1 or 2 people?
Probably.
She's keeping the doors locked when ICE comes in?
Yeah.
That's against the law.
Okay, I don't know if it is. If it's a privately owned business, they can do that, I think.
I guess you're right.
I think they can, yeah.
So si se puede, Ken. And what can I say?
I know.
You know?
I know.
That's all it is they all try to virtue signal like Barack Obama gets to say Latinos. Latinos. But we have to say Latinos, those Latinos.
Because otherwise you're appropriating, unless you're a Democrat.
Right. And it's cool to say Latinos. Okay. Illinois Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton calling to abolish ICE.
I want to abolish ICE. Because this agency cannot be reformed. We are looking at what's happening, and it doesn't matter whose ICE it is. ICE needs to be abolished, and we need to move this country forward and make sure our communities are safe.
What about BLM?
Yeah.
Should that be abolished?
I don't know.
I think it should.
Well, there you go.
Because it's a fraud. It's more fraud. Isn't it?
By millions of dollars.
It's not.
Their leaders were arrested.
It's not. BLM is not a giving foundation. They're a scam. Who got in trouble, arrested for it, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah.
But they used Black Lives Matters as a nice flowy name.
Yeah, flowery.
Black Lives flowery name. Okay. Let's hear Illinois. And this is why, by the way, Illinois is screwed. Is that one we just heard, and the next one coming up. This is. You mad at me or something?
Right. I saw this guy on an ad here in St. Louis, and all he ran on, he said, and I'm going to go after Trump.
Well, it certainly wasn't his name he was running on, because I can't even say it.
It's
Raja.
Okay.
Raja
Krishnamurthy.
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 Just say, okay. Claims the American dream has slipped. Why is that, Ken? Oh, that's right, President Trump.
Yeah.
That American dream that we were privileged to lead has slipped from the grasp of millions of people, especially now during the chaos of Donald Trump. You can just look at my personal story to understand why. That legal immigration system that enabled us to come to this country is being torn down every day.
It's the exact opposite of that. It's not immigration we don't want. It's illegal immigration. So, yes. Raja, you came here legally? Fine. What are you trying to prove? What you did nothing above and beyond. You came here legally. That's what you do.
Great.
When you come here illegally, that's what they always leave out is the word illegal.
They always do. And Vic, that's what he's trying to do is prop himself up, saying, "See, I made it. I struggled through. I did it the right way." Well, yeah, you did it the right way. You're here. Okay, great. You're an American. Now you're running for office. You were elected. Hey, how about that? That's great. But now he's saying that Everything that's wrong right now. You can't get an apartment because it's too expensive. You can't be a homeowner because it's too expensive. All these things that happen under the Biden administration, 9.1% inflation.
But it's Trump's fault? That's what I don't understand. The chaos was not created by Trump. The divisiveness was not created by Trump. It's the people who have divided this country because of Trump.
Yes.
Okay, let's hear a couple more here. Let's hear Maryland Democrat Senator Angela Also Brooks. What is this, crazy surname day?
Yeah.
Her name is Angela Also Brooks. Compares the men and women of ICE, to the KKK.
You know, I don't even want to tell you, the cover of the face is just a disturbing detail. We've seen this someplace before in our history.
Let's try slavery and the KKK.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is what it feels like.
Wait. What did the other person say? Who runs the KKK?
Let's try slavery and the KKK.
Yes.
Who ran
That
it?
is what it feels
What
like.
is she saying? Who is she saying runs the KKK?
It's before in our history.
Let's try slavery and the KKK.
Like slavery and the KKK. What she doesn't realize, what she's saying there is the Democrat Party were the
Exactly,
creators of the KKK.
And slavery, no?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, 300,000 Union Army soldiers died to stop slavery.
Okay, can we do one more? We have time for one more?
Yeah, let's do it.
Because the loonier the better.
Yeah.
Democrat Representative Robert Garcia voting to defund law enforcement now calls to abolish ICE and impeach Kristi Noem.
This agency has gone completely rogue. ICE needs to be abolished. It cannot be reformed, and Kristi Noem must be impeached.
So here, listen to me. This is just from an average guy's point of view. He says that the DHS is completely gone rogue. It's not going rogue. It's doing what they always did, since 2001, when the Homeland Security Department was made. They're doing the same thing they've done. It's just you're mad because your president let all these illegals in, and now President Trump is trying to get rid of them all. Kristi Noem trying to get rid of them all.
Yeah.
That's why it seems like it's rogue to you, because this is what they've been doing all along. So it's your side that's rogue. It's your side that brought in millions of 20 million illegal aliens. Am I right, Ken, or am I wrong?
Oh, you're absolutely right. I mean, this guy here is just saying the same thing to try and get everybody else on board. You're going to experience this. Let me tell you, this is the horror scenario. In 2026 and in 2028, if they gain power again, you're never going to see anything good that's happening for this nation right now anymore. They're going to take over. They're going to start indictment proceedings on everybody. He just mentioned Kristi Noem. It's not just President Trump. It's going to be everybody in the cabinet they're going to try and impeach. They're going to just to do it, just to show, hey, you tried to knock us down. You're going to see USAID back. You'll see all the NGOs back. You're going to see the borders opened again. It's all going to happen. No, this is not this is a warning.
Ken, that sounds rogue to me.
Sounds very rogue.
See what they don't understand? That is rogue. Not DHS doing what they've done, because we heard about the cowboys whipping black people.
Right.
That was crap, right? That wasn't true.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? They'll always find a way to say that President Trump is wrong about everything. That's all the time we have for Looney Tunes. All right. Drew Thomas Allen. Ken, it's not the song. It's all the memories I have.
I know.
The station that
I
played
get it.
that
I
song.
get it, man. I worked for that station a little bit too.
And I sound like a great big baby, but you
No,
know
you're
what?
fine.
I think every one of my complaints are valid. You either get it or you don't. Remember that commercial?
Right.
You either get it or you don't. And this song reminds me of every person I didn't like that worked at that radio station. I'm sorry. So it's not really the song.
No,
but I can't get it out.
But I get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk to Drew Thomas Allen. Let him go wild a little bit on 101.9 and 94.1. News Talk STL.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter.
Shut up.
You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show
Say it with me. Say Broadway.
on NewsTalk STL.
The center.
News, analysis, and opinion.
I've never called a talk show before, but this just irked me.
1019 and 94.1 NewsTalk STL.
1949, the last time a Republican held the top post in St. Louis City. A gallon of milk was 84 cents, and streetcars ran down Grand Avenue. Unfortunately, St. Louis City streets are no longer the epicenter of family and business life. In the 80 years of Democrat control, our city has been on a steady decline.
Hello, Kirk Ilsinger, chairman of the Republican Party for the city of St. Louis, and we believe it is our duty to provide a different path forward. I invite you to our meetings the first Thursday of every month. Learn more at stl-gop.com.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican PAC. Curtis Farber, Treasurer.
Hey, Jamie Allman here. When your car needs attention, trust who I trust. Benchmark Complete Auto in Valley Park. 25 years as a family-owned and operated company, Benchmark is your Napa Auto Care Center for nearly every maintenance and repair, using the latest technology and top quality parts. Need help with the bill? Well, ask about Napa's Easy Pay financing. Mention Jamie Allman and NewsTalk STL and get 10% off. BenchmarkAutorepair.com. BenchmarkAutorepair.com.
PRI Global now has Prismatic, an AI-driven platform that can help you and your business, especially in construction. Simplify your operations, secure data, modernize your business from the cloud up. Visit PRIGlobal.com. Innovation with talent and technology. People, process, platform. PRI Global delivers all three. Check them out. PRIGlobal.com. PRIGlobal.com.
Fox News Commentary with David Marcus next.
If you're over 40 and plan to retire someday, the window to protect what you've built may be smaller than you realize. As retirement moves from someday to on the horizon, protecting what you've built becomes just as important as growing it. And that's where Noble Gold Investments comes in. They help investors reduce risk by adding gold and silver to their portfolios. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com, noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals involves risk. Consult with your tax or financial professional before making investment decisions.
David Marcus.
New York City has only one Republican member of Congress, Representative Nicole Maliotakis, who represents Staten Island, but an absurd and obviously partisan judicial ruling has put the seat at risk. Democrats will argue they're just responding to redistricting efforts by the GOP. That's why there are no GOP seats in all of New England composed of states where 45% voted for Trump. Likewise, Illinois, New Mexico, and others have nearly no GOP districts. The problem for Republican voters who would love a fair shake is that states like Indiana still won't respond. We see this as well with blue slips in the Senate needed for judicial confirmations. Democrats abuse it, and now Trump has filled only 15 out of over 90 U.S. attorney seats. It's the same with the filibuster and government shutdowns. Democrats have perfected how to cheat within the rules. Republicans must learn those lessons and better the instruction.
For more commentary like this, go to foxnewspodcast.com.
Colombo and Company.
Join us every day for conversations with a wide variety of guests as we keep you informed and up to speed on all the important news and headlines you need to know.
Live and local weekdays at 2 on NewsTalk STL. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019.
Hi, this is Jefferson County Councilman Billy Crow with a reminder to check out our new show, Jeffco Patriot Radio, this and every Sunday at high noon. Now, back to the Vic Porcelli Show.
Thank you, Representative. Now, this song?
Yeah.
I'll take this song any day of the week.
Oh, okay.
Smooth.
Yeah.
Guy from Matchbox 20.
I remember sitting in the conference room at 101 The River when we headed to listen to new songs, and Smooth came up with from Matchbox 20, and the guy's really pushing it, and we're like, yeah, it's really good. You don't have to push so hard.
Yeah. So Santana and Rob Thomas.
Yes.
From Matchbox 20. So just a quick word on Rob Thomas. Because a lot of these bands suck when they come to just being people.
Yeah.
Adam Levine from Maroon 5, if he was on fire and I had a glass of water, I would just drink the water. He was such a jerk.
He was, man.
You know? Now, Rob Thomas, awesome.
Yeah.
We did him in the River Lounge.
Yes.
When we were up in Overland in that little studio there. And he wanted to go have a smoke. He goes, you want to go have a smoke? I was like, talking to me? Yeah,
Right.
Let's go. So we went out, we had a smoke. And all we did was talking about going to casinos and gambling. We didn't talk about music at all. Not even 1 second. Just hanging out, talking about gambling and stuff. And then he was behind the thing in the little booth there. And he had to tell somebody something that was outside the booth. So he opens the door, which is all glass, and there's a girl on the other side of the door. And he opens the door. Now she's inches from Rob Thomas, this girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, my God. He goes, so I'm this close to Rob Thomas. Should I grab him? Should I kiss him? You know, she didn't do either of those things, which was good. But you could tell it was cool that she was just standing next to Rob Thomas.
Yeah, yeah.
And he loved it, you know?
Yeah.
All right, enough of that. Let's talk to this guy. This guy on the left.
Drew Allen of the Drew Allen Show podcast.
It's people who love this country and respect freedom and want to preserve it for the future. You know, it really shouldn't be political.
Amico mio, come stai?
Ciao, buongiorno, Ciccio. Sono molto contento.
When I said left, I meant left part of the country. Drew's a great conservative.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Great conservative. He's got a new book, For Christ and Country, The Martyrdom of Charlie Kirk, in stores now. Drew, how are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm good, brother. It's good to be with you. My favorite time of the week.
Is that right, really? Or are you just saying that to make us feel good?
No, I mean it. It's fun.
Okay,
It's great.
right.
I live in California. You know, this is
That's
refreshing.
right. Hey, I live in California. You guys are a relief. I get it. So your idiot governor is trying to run for president, and everything he does turns to stuff.
Yeah. Should I just lay out the case of why he'll never be president right now?
Yes,
in like
go. Do
60
it.
seconds?
Right now.
So he was elected governor for the first time in 2019. And since then, he's spent $28 billion to solve the homeless problem. And yet the homeless population is 20,000 more today than it was when he entered office. At the same time, the population in California has declined steadily for the first time in its history. So in other words, there are fewer people in California, but more homeless. We rank, dead last for opportunity. We are 37th in K through 12 education, despite him boasting that we're the 5th biggest economy in the country. Everything this loser has done has been destructive. He is a one-man wrecking ball. And so he wants to lecture, the world about how great he is and about what a disaster Trump is. And he has no room to talk.
So, with all these people exiting California and all the illegals in, when they take the census, then they're not going to notice the difference, and the left will get more seats and more illegal votes. Am I close here?
Well, actually, what's crazy is that they do count the illegals here, and they counted them in the most recent census. And even with all the illegals, the population declined.
Huh. So are they losing seats?
There are more illegals in California than any other state. By the way, there are also more homeless in California than any other state. We're 25% of the homeless population is right here in California. That just tells you how bad his governorship has been, that many white people have left the state, that even with the influx of illegals, you still have a net population decrease.
Yeah.
But yes. We're overrepresented in Congress. All these states are. There are states in this country. I was talking to a buddy about this the other day on the East Coast, and 40% of the 40 or 45% even of the voters voted for Trump, and yet they don't have a single representative in Congress. And so this is the gerrymandering the Democrats claim, Texas is doing, and yet Texas is still pretty proportionate to. They still have representation in Congress for Democrat seats,
Yeah.
So it's such a joke. It's just gaslighting.
I'm sorry you have to live there, Drew. Why don't you come visit us in Missouri? Maybe you'd like to live here.
Yeah, my PGE bill was $1,500. Most recent bill.
Is that monthly?
Yep, monthly bill, $1,500.
You must be rich. I'm just kidding.
It's not based on. It's not even. Well, I would be rich if I didn't have to pay a $1,500 a month PGE bill, but instead I'll probably join the homeless. There can be 20,001 homeless people. Add me. Actually, me, my girls, and my wife. That's 4 of us.
You have
Thank
a dog?
you, Gavin Newsom.
Dog too.
Oh, and the dog. Yeah,
Dog,
he's still
too.
alive.
Yep,
so,
yep.
You know, California is such a great place, and it's such a shame.
It's beautiful.
It's amazing. Yeah, we have family out there. My family lives in La Jolla, Drew, and
down by San Diego.
Just so beautiful. They're up on that hill and stuff. But the fact is that they have the money to be able to do that. I would never be able to afford to live there. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't.
Yeah, it's brutal. I mean, we talk about it all the time about leaving and how much better our life could be just in terms of quality of living, because you've just got to keep making so much money to live any kind of comfortable lifestyle. And we don't go and spend money on frivolous stuff. We don't really take a lot of vacations or anything like that. We can't. And we could move somewhere else, and we really would be great. But to be honest, the challenge I have with leaving now is that I've become more and more ensconced in California politics, and I don't know, maybe I like a beatdown. Maybe I'm just really competitive. I like a challenge, but there's something stirring out there of getting more involved in the state politics and trying to move the needle, or at least getting in front of people in some way in California. And I just, I think I'll know when the time is right, but I'm a bare knuckle brawler. So I get kind of excited about going out there and destroying this Democrat Party, even if it's, seems like a pipe dream.
We're glad to have you there then.
James Braddock, right? Wasn't James Braddock the bare knuckle boxer, right? Cinderella story, isn't that about him? Cinderella Man?
Yeah.
All right, listen, I said to Ken that I don't want to talk about Minnesota anymore, but I forgot the most important thing that I forgot to talk about Minnesota. This is how disgusting the left is. And I don't really want to say the guy's name, but he was a radio guy here in St. Louis. He was a guy that worked on CNN during the Persian Gulf War.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Okay, good. He took a photoshopped photo of an ICE agent and Alex Preddy sitting on the ground, and the ICE agent has his gun to the back of the head of Preddy. Clearly photoshopped.
What a
right
scumbag.
Next to, wait, it gets worse. Right next to an actual Nazi soldier with his gun at the back of the head of a Jew.
Yeah, this guy knows if he's listening right now, which he could be.
I doubt it.
But if he is, that's you.
Stop
You're
it.
a scumbag.
And stop
No,
it.
he's a scumbag.
Yeah.
I have one question.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me that Democrats and the left, after a paid protester agitator is killed in an act of self-defense by an ICE agent, they demand the unequivocal defunding and abolition of ICE altogether?
Yeah.
But when an illegal criminal gangbanger who came into this country through the open border policy of Joe Biden rapes and bludgeons to death an unarmed female nursing student in Georgia out for a daily jog, the same left and Democrats continue to demand an open border?
We're with you.
Make it make sense.
I just want, if you wanted to keep going, you keep talking about Lake and Riley, right?
Yeah, Lake and Riley. I mean, there's a million examples. Is the point? It's happening every day. It's happening right now.
Yeah. So, wow, Drew was really getting hot there, man. Could you feel the?
Oh yeah.
The anxiety level. It's like Vic waiting for a snowstorm. So anyway,
so we can put his swim trunks on.
Yeah, exactly right. So let's talk about NATO for a sec in the few minutes we have left here, Drew. NATO's General Secretary Mark Rutte, do you say Rutte? Is that his name?
Rutte, yeah.
Rutte?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Warned the European Union that Europe is unable to defend itself, guess what, without the United States assistance. So they should just shut the hell up, put up the money, and then let's go and shut up about it.
Yes. And Trump's playing hardball there. And I really am under the belief right now that Trump cannot be so naive that he's going to give in any way to Minneapolis. There are a lot of stories out there. He's doing his Trump thing. I had a great phone call with, Jacob Frey. He's always doing that, trying to, play the left and not give them anything, in certain scenarios. But it's a little bit disheartening because it feels like, and I think we'll be proven wrong, and that's my hope. But, Trump's out there, combating the left on a global scale, and he's winning everywhere. And, at least the narrative, the way it's being pitched amongst the Debbie Downer class is that, he's giving in and caving to the left in Minneapolis. And I just can't believe that that's going to be the case.
I don't think he's caving. I think Ken has the 4D chess move that he's making.
Yeah, Drew, what I was thinking about that is that President Trump is saying, okay, let's get this thing calmed down. Let's get it out of the news, basically, so that we can focus on your fraud. I think he wants to start focusing really highly on Ilhan Omar and Fry and Keith Ellison. You got Tim Walz at the top of this whole thing, and I think they are so involved, and President Trump just wants that to be the focus now.
Yeah. I mean, he understands who these people are. I mean, nobody understands, I think, better than Trump. After what he's gone through, them trying to put him in prison and the persecution, and everything else. I think that's probably right. I mean, I think he's got a trick up his sleeve. I don't think he's going to let them get away with it. But also, Kash Patel and the FBI are looking into these organizations and these politicians that are funding these protests. And so, I just, a lot of this is, Trump is fighting hard. The DOJ is fighting hard in many cases. And, we're posting a few L's, but it's not because of any failure on their part. It's because you've got, that's how bad the deep state is. You've got these judges that are, preventing arrests of people involved in the storming of that church in Minneapolis and things like that. And so it's just a long process, unfortunately, because we're dealing with, literal demons.
Yeah.
And the left goes so far, right? They all think Trump is stupid, and they all think he doesn't know what he's doing. And then when it all comes out that he does know what he's doing, like this thing, like Ken said, because the film with our film of the week, Drew, is Wag the Dog. I don't know if you've ever seen the film Wag the Dog with Dustin Hoffman and Robert De Niro. This is Wag the Dog because the Somalian daycare fraud, $20 billion in fraud is over here. But don't look here. Look over here where ICE are arresting black and brown people and putting them in jail and putting a gun at the back of their head like a Nazi soldier.
Yeah, well, 100%. And I have a piece out at the American Thinker today that explains to people how what's happening in Minneapolis is the textbook, the playbook of Saul Alinsky. They create a crisis and they, point to their political opponent and isolate them. And then they present their solution. And there's only one solution they're willing to entertain. And in this case, it is, stop deporting any illegals, period, and get rid of ICE. And, we're headed for a government shutdown, I'm pretty sure. I think Trump's thinking about that, too. He's trying to think of a way to just get through this hurdle in the Senate because they're threatening to sink the funding bill. So if he can get that funded, that's a big victory. And then he can go back to screwing them.
Well, people, even Ken, do you remember back when Trump was at the United Nations and he would say, you guys are going to be buying Russian oil soon, and they all laughed at him.
Yeah.
Like he was an idiot.
Right.
And then he was right.
He was correct, yeah.
That's what I'm saying, Drew. The rest of the world thinks he's an idiot, too, thanks to the stupid-ass mainstream media in this country.
Well, that's to our advantage, right?
It
there's
is.
nothing better than being underestimated by a stupid enemy. So let them underestimate, and then he'll show up like Delta Force in Venezuela.
Yeah,
and won't know what
baby.
happened.
Yeah. All right. Go get Drew's book. It's called For Christ and Country, and you can get it in stores right now. Drew Thomas Allen, thank you, sir. We'll talk next week.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. Nice to see you, Drew.
He was getting so hot and angry there. I loved it.
Yeah.
I hate to say that, but he was mad, and it was true emotion.
It is, and I think a lot of people are getting that way. I really do.
Yeah.
We need to see some results of all this.
Ken, when I saw the Photoshop thing of ICE and then the German soldier.
What a piece of human excrement.
I think you can say that on this here radio.
Yes, I can.
All right, Tobes. That's what we call him. Dr. Tobler, he's next.
Whoosh.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness One. Wellness One is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common-sense science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on NewstalkSTL. And you can visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
Now, the Free Market Minute, brought to you by the Hammond Institute for Free Enterprise at Lindenwood University.
Hey, it's Mike Ferguson from The Morning Show, and I'm here with Dr. Grant Black. And Grant, does having more economic freedom make a difference in people's lives, such as maybe helping reduce poverty?
It definitely makes a difference. Economic freedom is critical for fostering well-being and prosperity. It enables people to make their own choices and pursue their own interest. like choosing careers, starting businesses, and innovating to make the world better. It thrives in environments that empower people, promote competition, and protect property rights, all while being supported by limited and healthy government. Economic freedom is a catalyst for generating higher incomes, greater wealth, more opportunities, better access to education, and improved health at all levels of society. It makes a difference.
The John W. Hammond Institute for Free Enterprise at Lindenwood University fosters and examines market-oriented approaches to economic and social issues. To learn more, visit hammondinstitute.org.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. A federal judge in Minnesota has ordered the head of ICE to appear in court. It explained why detainees have been denied due process. Here's White House correspondent Greg Cluxton.
The judge said the Trump administration has failed to comply with orders to hold hearings for detained immigrants and ordered Todd Lyons, the acting director of ICE, to appear before him Friday to explain why he shouldn't be held in contempt. The order comes a day after President Trump directed Border Czar Tom Homan to take over the immigration crackdown in Minnesota from Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, who's under fire for her response to 2 fatal shootings by ICE agents. Greg Clugston, Washington.
There's been no thaw in parts of the south as a fresh blast of Arctic air keeps much of the region gripped by snow and ice. Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves.
There is currently 750,000 homes across the country without power. Over 1 in 5 of them, over 20%, are here in Mississippi.
Nashville resident Lisa Patterson says she doesn't know when her power will come back on.
It's going down. It's getting so much colder tonight, and I would have used up all the firewood I had, and we still wouldn't have been able to get out, and it seems to be maybe a week or 2 before we get electricity.
She, like many people, have fled to warming shelters. Crews are working today to restore power knocked out by the massive weekend storm. As U.S. copes with Arctic chill, the land down under experiencing a searing summer.
Australia has sweltered in record temperatures close to 122 Fahrenheit during a prolonged heat wave. Rural towns in Victoria State registered preliminary highs of 120 degrees Fahrenheit on Tuesday. If confirmed, these were top records set in 2009 during the Black Saturday bushfires, which killed 173 people.
That's Karen Shamus. More from Town Hall.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-893-2288. That's 800-893-2288.
Amy Cox did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. And with that money, she decided to treat herself to an anti-aging red light mask. Will she look like a horror movie villain every night? Yes. Will her boyfriend Kevin be scarred for life? That's certainly a risk. But it's Amy's savings, and if she's willing to risk her relationship for smooth, wrinkle-free skin, well, bye-bye, Kevin. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Stifel, serving investors for over 130 years. Contact your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Hey, Mike Ferguson here, and for nearly 40 years, Nutrition Stop has been St. Peter's trusted source for natural living. They've got a great, knowledgeable staff offering more than just products. They provide guidance on your wellness journey with exceptional service. From 100% grass-fed meats like elk and bison and local produce to quality supplements and clean household products, 4101 Mexico Road in St. Peter's, just off the interstate at Cave Springs and Highway 70.
Hey, Colombo here for Intervine, a great local company that has customers all across the country due to the quality of their products. Intervine has the best flashlights, lanterns, headlamps, and even batteries, including the new Monster 2000 Lumen waterproof lantern and the Sentinel 2000 self-defense flashlight. Our home and vehicles are full of great Intervine products, and right now you can shop their website and get 25% off your entire purchase just by using my name, Tony, as your promo code. That's promo code Tony at Intervine.com.
People ask all the time, who the heck is Low Cost Airlines? Well, we're not just one airline. When you're talking to us, you're talking to everyone. We are the discount supermarket for all airline tickets. Plus, we have all the airlines and always have the best prices. American, Delta, United, plus all the specialized international airlines and a lot more. And we make it easy. We guarantee you'll talk to a live human in 60 seconds. You can have the rate you need and have your trip booked in 5 minutes. Now, how cool is that? And remember, when you're talking to us, it's like talking to every single airline available with one fast phone call. All you need to do is call and find the best prices to fly wherever it is you want to go. So are you ready? Call Low Cost Airlines right now. 800-515-2397. 800-515-2397. 800-515-2397. That's 800-515-2397.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by the Trolley Stop Bakery, the official bakery of the Vic Porcelli Show. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
A 3-hour tour, a 3-hour tour. The weather started getting rough.
We squeeze in a dry hump day under partly sunny skies.
From New Jersey to Baldwin, Missouri, two behind the microphone, taking the whoosh to the radical left and the putrid swamp. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show. Here he is, Vic Porcelli.
All right, hour number 3 of our 3-hour tour rolled up and ready to run. Chat box coming up at 11:41 right now, though I believe the doctor is in.
The Dr. Randy Tobler update is brought to you by Advanced Dentistry of St. Charles. Learn more about Drs. Omas and Cusimano and their team by visiting advanceddentistrynow.com.
The doctor will see you now.
I don't know. We better have that looked at.
Randy Tobler.
You guys are ahead of the curve. You probably took your masks off a couple weeks before the CDC said it was okay.
And we're rebels.
Now, Dr. Randy Tobler.
What's up, Doc?
Good morning, Dr. Randy Tobler. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Skipper. How are you?
No, because I'm the fat one, right? Is that why you said that?
No, you're the boss of the show.
Well, there you go.
Ken's the boss. Ken's the boss, but he lets you think you are. Maybe that's more accurate.
Is that what you're doing over there?
No.
Well, that's what it is with my show with Jerome.
Oh, yeah. I hear you. Yeah, no, he's the boss. Yeah. Absolutely. All right. So listen, I'm a little mad at your industry today.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Well, that's not the first time.
No, it's not. But do you remember the Hippocratic Oath? Remember that? Going back, do no harm. You remember that, right?
Oh, I remember it distinctly. Yes, I do.
So what makes a nurse practitioner say, I hope that Caroline Levitt's baby dies and that she is disfigured for life? Is that doing no harm or is that doing harm?
Yeah, all together now, TDS syndrome, right? I mean, that's what's going on.
Yeah.
It's TDS on full display, in full Technicolor. And that's not the only nurse that's done something like that. I mean, there's several of them, and we've seen it along the way. It's amazing. I mean, I don't know. The first thing we're called upon as medical professionals is to put biases aside and treat everyone as God's child, right?
Yeah, but that's not happening.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Well, it happens, I think, with maybe even people that would claim to be conservative that then, are a part of the medical manipulation of people's care from a central location. Call it HHS, call it CMS, the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services. They have their ideas and they know what's good for everyone, and they're going to make everyone better because of their great ideas. So it's the same way.
Yeah. There are nurses and doctors that won't treat people who are MAGA. I don't know how you know a patient is MAGA. They come in from a car accident. This person on the street, he looks MAGA. Is he MAGA? I'm not treating him. How do you know somebody's MAGA that comes in for treatment?
Yeah. And there are people that are pro-abortion. They call themselves pro-choice, but they're actually pro-abortion, who who really hold it against doctors who won't do an abortion. I mean, I won't do an abortion, right?
Right.
So does that make me am I in the same? According to those people, from their perspective, I would probably be almost as bad as this gal that wants to see something horrific and disfiguring happen to Caroline Levitt, right? I mean, that's how polarized we are right now.
You're doing no harm, though. Well, I mean, how do they get to say that? If you won't do an abortion because the abortion kills the baby, guess what? Dr. Tobler is following the Hippocratic Oath, and he will do no harm.
No, but they say I'm actually doing them harm by denying them the right for self-determination and to do with their body what they want, and that it's a tremendous, at least mental strain, and it will be a tremendous physical strain for them to carry this baby, and a financial strain. And then you can see how those arguments go, that I'm denying them the very nirvana of health that they want, and that would be including having an abortion.
Wow,
that's the problems it presents them with. That's the way they look at it.
What a way to twist an argument. My goodness.
Well, I mean,
isn't that true?
You're right. The Hippocratic Oath has nothing to do with your feelings. You know what you can do with your feelings?
But I just can't do any harm to, especially an innocent preborn human, future human, call it whatever you want. I mean, it's still human, but I mean a future, what would you call it, independent human. And many, and so look, we're just so far apart now. I mean, we've seen it in Minneapolis. We see it with the abortion debate. We see it with this Caroline Levitt thing. I mean, it is just, look, I've taken care of patients who had terrible problems where they ended up with basically one common orifice for where there used to be two orifices down there. Women in Africa that go on in labor for days, and ultimately often the baby succumbs, and then they end up with these god-awful, terrible problems, and it takes a tremendous amount of pelvic reconstructive surgery to give them any semblance of anatomy. God bless the pelvic reconstructive guys that do that. There was one at WashU when I trained he had spent time in Africa doing that. That's what this crazed nurse wishes for Caroline Levitt, because Caroline Levitt wants to protect people in Minneapolis and other places from horrors of pedophiles and domestic rapists and abusers and murderers, and I just don't get it, guys. I don't
either.
There must be, I don't know.
Well, the update on that story, Dr. Tobler, is she was fired, so that's good.
Oh, she was?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah, good for her administration. Good for them.
So, real quick, abortion, right? People on the left, they love abortion. You get an abortion? Oh, good for you. You killed the baby. Fantastic. And people on our side, my family specifically, my wife and I, we had 2 miscarriages in between Chris and Marielle, 2 of them. Yeah, and it was devastating to us that we lost the baby rather than jump up and down for joy that the baby died.
And I don't think it's lost on people that take care of counselors and social workers and psychiatrists and doctors who are primary care docs that take care of women who have had an abortion and chosen that. And look, some of them would even say, I would have done it again, but I in that circumstance at that moment. But I really have second thoughts about it. I've had patients look at me and say, what a tremendous error that was, especially when they couldn't get pregnant again or whatever, and maybe their politics changed in the meantime, and they carry around tremendous amounts of guilt and self-loathing and self-flagellation, right? Because they feel guilty over it. And I mean, so is it really doing no harm when you refuse to do that and risk having a woman do that to her future self? I don't think so. I think you're actually helping a person when you have a discussion with them.
Yep. And I think with that, when you're talking about having a baby and miscarriages and how devastating that was, that's like a loss. That's like a funeral with no funeral. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And if women could just hear the heartbeat, I think they might change. They might change their mind. Don't you think?
Right. No, I think that's why a lot of laws try to put that as part of the whole process before that final, ultimate, irreversible, behaviors or action is taken, to give the person a chance to look at that baby. And, you know, and look, I'm not denying that women find themselves in incredibly difficult circumstances, and it's you know, I can see how in those circumstances, desperate times and desperate people will make desperate decisions that they later regret. But I think, irrespective, I mean, that's one argument I think for the pro-life side that is not argued enough, and that is, look, this is not just a one and done. Okay, wash my hands and I'm done and I move on with my life. This impacts women tremendously. And of course, then there's the fundamental base argument of that is an innocent, unconscious individual that should be respected. And we need to give that individual inside the mama some respect too.
To give up the baby for adoption is such a better choice, right? So
Yeah.
I know I'm going to sound very mean and very cruel here, okay? But why not just have the baby and put it up for abortion? Oh, because daddy might find out that you're pregnant?
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, and sadly, the adoption rules and laws and expense associated with it are very, very complex and difficult to navigate. Maybe that's, well, I think it's something that needs to be looked at, just like we talk about as conservatives being very, very introspective about how we are promoting life and promoting post-birth for moms that make that decision to, okay, I'm not going to have an abortion, but this is going to be a hard road to hoe. The guy, you know, it was a one-nighter. The guy left. He's nowhere to be found. I don't have any circumstances to help with this baby. My parents are both gone or dead or whatever. We need to be a really strong safety net for women that make that choice to have that baby and support it. Along with, if they don't want to support it, to be able to give it for adoption and make the adoption process for would-be adoptive couples incredibly smooth and streamlined and supported.
I support a woman's right to choose adoption. You know,
there you go. Maybe
right?
That's the new phrase, right?
My wife was adopted, right? And her mom, Annette, who's no longer with us, chose adoption.
And many people who have babies choose adoption too, because they just like babies and they don't want to see them maybe go uncared for or, you know, bounced around in foster homes and whatever, or, you know, maybe they foster to adoption. I don't know of anyone who's adopted a child that regrets it and, you know, doesn't want to do more if they're able.
You know, sometimes we give the biggest idiots audience, right? Michael Moore, the filmmaker, he said, you know, if you deport a child back to the country it came from, you may be deporting someone who may come up with the next biggest medical miracle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how about if you abort a baby? That baby could come up with the biggest medical.
Right. And by the way, coming up with the next miracle is possible in their home countries too, right? So, you know, I mean, that's a lame argument.
Yeah.
That's a lame argument. But, you know, Michael Moore, I mean, just all you have to do is listen to him and, you know, for 5 minutes and you know that the guy is a little bit cuckoo, right? A lot cuckoo.
Not just him. I mean, it's so many people that come out now, we'll abolish ICE and all this stuff. And they really don't research anything that they're protesting. You know, they're just out there yelling and screaming because they heard this guy say it or a movie star said it, you know. Oh, let's abolish
Or they're
it.
getting paid. They don't even know what the hell they're doing. They're just getting paid for it. A lot of them, yeah.
It seems to be either a side hustle or maybe for some a main hustle. I mean, given the reports we're hearing about that these are really hired hands in many cases, I'd love to know among the people on a given, you know, in a given crowd of protesters, how many are actually getting paid and how many are just doing it because they have nothing else to do and they just want to be rebels, you know? I don't know those numbers.
And Dr. Tobler, what I read was this past weekend in Minneapolis, they had all those people in the streets. Yeah, 10,000 of them were bussed in and paid. 10,000 that were not from that area.
Well, yeah, does that surprise you? Because that's the thing. I think that a lot of what we see on the TV on the left, from the left, MSNBC and CNBC and others, man, I think they're speaking to a smaller audience. I mean, a truly believing smaller audience than they think they are.
Yeah.
And that there's a lot of people that may monitor them. They may turn it on because, well, I watched CNN at the beginning, and you know when they came on, they were the only game in town. I watch them. Sadly, some of those people will be influenced, but I think there's a large silent majority out there that looks at what's going on and looks at the behavior of these people and just shakes their head and go, my God, this what? I don't really know that we have a polarized country in their true heart of hearts, like the numbers and the polls and the CNNs of the world and the MSNBCs would like you to think. I mean, how can people look at what happens to law enforcement officers with throwing bottles, and ramming them with their cars, and it's just crazy stuff that goes on. Is it really 47% of people who really think that that's okay, they support that? I don't know. I think they're believing a lie, and I think the media that is spewing the lie actually does believe the lie, believe it or not. And that's the question. There's going to be a battle of messaging, I guess, going forward, because I guess perception's reality.
And they're putting their own people's safety and lives at stake when they go out there, right? Somebody who, I mean, I'm sure this happens. Somebody's walking down the street in Minnesota. Oh, what? I wonder what these crowd of people are doing over here. Oh, we're protesting. Oh, I'll protest with you. Yeah. And that person may get hurt when they're not getting paid or they're not part of the people who are busting. They just walked into a situation and want to be part of the in crowd, and they end up hurt or dead.
No, you're right. And by the same token, I don't, do you really believe, I mean, this is where politics sort of mixes with the truth and where people's hearts either are or should be, in my opinion. I mean, I think Kristi Noem probably needs to be called in. Apparently she had a little conversation with Donald Trump, according to some reports. I mean, to assume that this guy was intent on committing some kind of mass damage event, mass casualty event, I don't really believe that. I think the guy just figured, hey, I'm going to be loaded for gun, and if I get in trouble, if there's mayhem, I'm going to be able to defend myself. I don't really believe this ICU nurse, was at heart an evil person. I think he's delusional in terms of what he was believing that ICE and Border Patrol are up to. But I think he got caught up in trying to help a gal that he thought was being wronged by an authority source, and he put himself in a place that in no way, shape, or form should any rational person put themselves in any case.
But
right?
but Dr. Tobler, I think that a lot of this comes from the leadership in Minnesota saying get out in the streets, saying the vile things that they were saying about the Nazis being the officers, the law enforcement officers.
Right, but ultimately, I mean, we have agency, right? And while I think passions get out of hand, and when they're validated and endorsed and I guess you could say encouraged, I don't think any get out in the streets. I've heard that. I've heard take pictures. I've heard that. But you put that with a toxic mix of cold weather and, who knows what it takes to stay warm in cold weather. I'm just saying. I didn't hear that he was a card-carrying concealed flask member. I don't know. But, it doesn't take much to go from strong ideology and passion and anger and a little bit of, throw on a little spice of leadership, coaxing you to be active and be in their face, right? And, no one reminded this guy that when you get within arm's length of a law enforcement officer that has a weapon, that's a red line you don't pass, because there's too many instances where those weapons have been confiscated and grabbed by the perp and used against the officer. Yep. And in the moment, this guy just wasn't thinking rationally. I think we've all had times in our life where we don't think rationally, probably more in our youth than as we get older.
So,
and it's just sad. It's sad to see it happen this way. It doesn't have to be this way.
Right, and I don't want to see anybody die. So we're out of time, Dr. Tobler, but I do want to say that Joey Jones yesterday on the 5 laid out a great 3-minute monologue on what's going on, and he said that he's a 2A absolutist. I think we all are in this room, and he said, but that comes with restrictions, right? You have to have your ID and your permit on you. Once you do not, you no longer are carrying a weapon legally.
Yep, I saw it. It was epic. It was a good one. Yep.
6 to 9 o'clock every Saturday morning with the one and only Dr. Randy Tobler, every morning on the Eagle in Columbia. Thank you, sir.
Always fun being stranded on the island.
Love it. Love it.
Take care, Dr. Tobler.
Good looking little buddy. Okay.
You too.
See ya.
Turn this up, man. This is Squeeze. I love Squeeze. You like Squeeze?
Oh, yeah.
Love Squeeze. It's cool for cats. It's cool for cats. When you sing this, you have to sing it with a British accent.
Right.
They fancy this, they fancy that. Sorry, I love it. Oh, wait. You say it's cool for cats. It's cool for cats. Can you hear my British accent?
Yeah, I can.
Shut up.
Generally, you don't hear that with the artists, though. They don't sound like that.
And they didn't care.
No, they didn't care. They tried to actually accentuate it.
And I love it.
Yeah.
Nasty little rash. And then nasty little rash. The Freedom 13 Support Our Troops Gala, February 27th at the Foundry Arts Center in St. Charles. Beautiful building. 6 to 11 o'clock. Get information. Go support our troops. Support the Freedom 13 organization. And they're going to have a bottle of bourbon there that's autographed by Donald Trump.
Yes.
So get on that. News Talk STL for details and tickets. All right, we'll be right back. Say it's cool for cats. It's cool for cats.
Stream the Vic Porcelli Show at NewstalkSTL. The Vic Porcelli Show.
I have a theory. People talk loud when they want to act smart, right? Correct!
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL. If you have a phone, you have a radio. Download the all-new News Talk STL app.
Love the all-new app.
And listen anytime, anywhere.
The Herzog Tomorrow Foundation provides private school tuition scholarships through Missouri's new Most Scholars program to cover the cost of accessible, high-quality schooling.
Hi, this is Mayela Esser with the Herzog Tomorrow Foundation. Our private school tuition scholarships wouldn't be possible without the support of generous Missouri taxpayers. If you're a Missouri taxpayer interested in redirecting your tax dollars and sending them to Missouri students in need of a better education, please contact me at herzogmostscholars.org.
Better education for students creates a better tomorrow for all. Learn how you can help provide a better education for Missouri students at herzogmostscholars.org. That's herzogmostscholars.org. Also, sign up for The Lion, an initiative of the Herzog Foundation that carries articles covering a wide range of issues facing American families and culture. herzogfoundation.com. That's herzogfoundation.com.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. By wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers right away. If you're testing your blood sugar 4 or more times per day, injecting insulin 3 or more times per day, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetic Health Hotline today.
800-515-2380. That's 800-515-2380. Paid for by U.S. Med.
Number one for live and local conservative talk.
Enough. No drugs, no theft, none of that. Get all of that out of the country. The Democrat Party is gone. It hates the country. It hates the Constitution.
101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
How dare you!
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
All right, listen, Greta. Sorry, I got my British accent.
How dare you!
Greta, shave your armpits, you stinky little girl. I'm sure she stinks.
I'm positive.
On those boats that she went to go save the world, remember?
Yeah, we're on there for weeks.
I bet she stunk. God. Okay, so Ken and I just got a little idea seconds ago.
Literally.
Which I think will be fun. So there's a feature on X. It's called bookmarks. And if you like an article, you see it, you hit the little bookmark thing that actually looks like a bookmark, right? The little shape of it looks like a bookmark. And then you can go back and look at that list whenever you want.
Right, and I titled mine "Reference Material" because it's like a potpourri of information. It's different things that I see that I don't want to let go of. I just want to keep it on the side. and just refer to it once in a while.
How did you name it?
I think if you pay for it, you can.
I'm not paying for it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right, though. You can still use bookmark it.
Make everybody look like make me look like a cheapskate in front of everybody. Son of a you want to go first? We're going to go down our bookmarks.
Yeah, mine is actually my latest one. It was an entire stadium of people cheering about killing white people in Africa.
Oh, that's fun.
And this is the leader of one of the parties in Africa, and he's just saying, "Kill the Boer, kill the Boer." And I actually have audio for this one,
Go,
so
baby.
we can go for it. Now you can't really understand him.
Doesn't matter. It's
Shoot to kill. Kill the white man. It means kill the white man. There are over 100,000 people in the stadium saying that, chanting that.
You know what, Ken? It shows you where true tyranny, fascism starts, with a person like that just shouting violent things and a crowd of 100,000 just applauding in happiness.
Oh, yeah. And this is in Nigeria, by the way, where that president said, no, that doesn't happen.
Right.
That's not happening.
That's where they're killing the Christians, isn't it?
Yep.
Nigeria?
Yep.
Okay, my turn. This one's from Sandra Danhold from just yesterday. Said, you covered this subject this morning. Tomorrow, meaning today, is Holocaust Remembrance Day. And we try to take a moment to remember the Holocaust today. It's Holocaust Remembrance Day. And when you do, think of Tim Waltz saying that children are afraid to go outside, just like Anne Frank. My God, what a dishonest, disgusting, hurtful thing to say to people who are descendants of Anne Frank.
Yeah.
Or, well, not Anne Frank, but of the family, or, anybody who was involved and held at a concentration camp.
Yeah.
Where are the gas chambers?
Exactly right, Vic. And it's just disgusting. You should never do it. We've never used those kinds of harsh examples. At least on this show, we wouldn't do something like that. And we just, it's just not. It's not a good look. And you actually, in my opinion, have lost the argument once you try to engage in that.
Completely agree. Your turn.
Yeah, this is basically a collage. Okay, it's a video collage, and I want to remember this, Vic, because it says they are why we support ICE 100%. You hear about the deaths of Preddy and Good. But you don't hear about these. A Stolen Life, Rachel Morin, she's 37.
I don't bluff, motherfucker.
Oh, sorry about that.
Kenneth James Williams.
I just hit it. But anyway, Camelia Williams, 52 years old, a stolen life by an illegal alien. And it goes down this list. Mandy Ferguson, 28. And it just goes along. Naomi Dominique, Casey Chadwick, Larisha Thompson. These are people who have been killed. Sandra Duran by illegal aliens. Kadrian Harris, Monica Delgado. And it just rolls along here for over 2 minutes. Maris Giovanni, she's 30 years old, a 30-year-old girl killed by an illegal. Cherie Johnson, Kim White Stout, 38 years old. See, it's just something I wanted to remember because we always talk about these two people that were actually put themselves in that situation. These women, this little girl, Maura Garrity, 8 years old, a stolen life, struck and killed by an illegal alien driver. Okay, these are people, these are Americans, and just so happens in these cases they're all women, but they were mainly raped here, by illegal aliens. I want to remember that. I want people to remember. That's why I kept it.
Okay, this one is really disappointing because you listen to somebody, especially if it's a singer, and you love their music, and then they just say something completely ridiculous, and they're a crazy libtard. And it was disappointing for me to read this tweet from Bowser from Sha Na Na. Remember Sha Na Na?
Yeah.
Oh,
you've referred to him before, yeah.
He says, I can define the problem, on this platform easily. It's steady reliance on fiction. Every day there are multiple posts of, when Charlie Kirk was killed, liberals cheered. I am in touch with a lot of liberals. I never heard or saw one cheer when Charlie Kirk was killed.
Wow.
How disingenuous is that?
Exactly right.
That's like saying, yeah, I know some baseball players, and they hit home runs, but they're not Babe Ruth. I don't know what kind of analogy that was, sorry. But so what liberals did he talk to that didn't cheer Charlie Kirk's death?
Well, okay, so maybe he doesn't, but we can see slews of these people, these posts who are disgusting people that did cheer.
Yep.
I mean, I saw them, endless flow of them on social media, not just on X, but on TikTok, on Instagram. They were all over the place. I have one here. It's my reference material that I've banked on X. Pete Hegseth's salary was an estimated $2.3 million in 2024. His new salary is $256,000. Janine Pirro, $5 million in 2024. Her new salary is $198,000. Sean Duffy, he made over $1 million a year ago, but now he's making $253,000 as his annual salary. They aren't in it for the money. They're here for the love of our country, including President Donald J. Trump, pure patriots. And that's just a good reminder.
And it's a reminder of the opposite when Ilhan Omar makes $200,000 and she's worth $40 million.
Yeah, what's that?
What the hell's going on?
They're investigating her harshly, too.
They should.
I hope so.
They really should. Okay, my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess we got to go to, oh, no, here's a fun one. This actually goes back to October 10th, and I bookmarked it. Snoopy was adopted by Charlie Brown on October 10th, 1950, from the Daisy Hill Puppy Farm, after Snoopy had been brought by someone else but was returned. Isn't that great?
That's awesome.
October 10th is when Charlie Brown adopted Snoopy. Love that. Okay, your turn.
Okay. You got to watch out here.
Hey, you're the one who cusses on this here radio, not me.
All right, so this is Kamala Harris saying Donald Trump was handed $400 million on a silver platter and then filed for bankruptcy 6 times. And then Seamus responded, you were handed $42 billion to expand broadband and didn't connect a single person to the internet. I don't care if Trump lost his own money. You lost mine.
Right. And my final bookmark is, we talked about this, I believe, yesterday. When you have kids and you're having fun with your kids, there's nothing better, right? So this dad has a Nerf gun, and his kids run away from him. He's in the kitchen. They run away from him through the living room, and he's shooting Nerf pellets at them. And the little kid gets hit in the back with a Nerf, and he goes, and he falls into the sofa like he's just been shot. How much fun is that?
I love
when
it.
you're a kid,
Yeah.
or when you're a dad. Bang, got me. Okay, chat box is next. Plenty of time too, because we're getting out of time. Look at us.
Look at it.
Exactly 11:37 on 101.9 and 94.1 NewstalkSTL. Welcome home.
Stream the Vic Porcelli Show at NewstalkSTL. Vic and Ken. Ken can build a deck. Vic can build a sandwich. The Vic Porcelli Show on 101.9 and 94.1 NewstalkSTL.
On the next
Larry Connors, USA.
Today's story behind the story, my interview with Barack Obama and what happened next.
Larry Connors, USA. Now, weeknights 6 until 8 on NewstalkSTL.
This is Tony Colombo, and my favorite Capriati sandwich is the cheesesteak made with American Wagyu beef from Snake River Farms, and you have to include a side of their amazing fries. I love Capriati's, and you will too.
Open 9 to 9 daily on Manchester at McKnight in Rock Hill.
Remember those magical moments in Mom's kitchen? The heavenly aroma of fresh baked cookies? At Trolley Stop Bakery in Chesterfield's Forum Shopping Center, our co-op of talented bakers has been perfecting that homemade magic for 4 decades. From the gooeyest cookies in town to custom pies, cobblers, and cakes, everything's made from scratch, just like Mom and Grandma's recipes. Need that perfect corporate gift? We ship our famous cookies nationwide. The Trolley Stop Bakery, 67 Forum Shopping Center, or TrolleyStopBakery.com. Because some traditions are too sweet not to share.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you're ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with this free call. 800-524-1641. 800-524-1641. 800-524-1641. That's 800-524-1641.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show
Get ready, pal. You're going to enter a problem.
on NewstalkSTL.
Ken, correct me if I'm wrong. Roll with it, Steve Winwood.
Roll with it.
I believe Junior Walker.
Oh, yeah?
Play saxophone on it?
I think so.
I think I'm right on that one.
Hey, by the way, I broke out my saxophone for the first time in 20 years the other day.
How'd it go?
When Abby was home, and I said, did I ever play saxophone for you? She goes, Dad, I didn't even know you played saxophone.
How about
I'm like,
that?
Really?
How about that?
So I opened it up. It's a Selmer Signet European version, by the way. It's a very nice saxophone. A little worn, a little weathered. But I had just put new pads on it and everything before I put it away.
Wow.
So I started playing it, and Vic, it was rough, but man,
Okay,
I want to
it's
start
okay.
playing it again.
That's
I- a
great.
little bit, yeah.
Love it. Love it. Junior Walker on the All-Stars. What would it do when you... I'm not doing that right. Let's do something else. Let's do chat box. Look who's first. Mr. Retired. Mr. I'm retired, so I got nothing better to do than sit around and listen to Vic and Ken.
Love it.
Grant.
Thank you.
I made it just in time for the Pledge of Allegiance. Fantastic. And then he says, whoosh, and good Tuesday morning, you bunch
Whoosh.
of Vic heads. Good morning, Jared. How are you? All right, Nick Greco's got a little problem with Nick Schroer. Why are you laughing?
It's true.
Yeah. Nick Schroer is an unfit bully. Vote him out. He doesn't respect the taxpayers who pay his salary and his taxpayer-funded health care he takes advantage of. He doesn't know how to behave when confronted by taxpayers. Nick, let me tell you something. Why don't you go on Twitter, on X, and look at everybody say the meanest, most vile things about Nick Schroer.
Yeah.
And he handles every one of them.
Yeah.
You may not like his answer. I do. But in other words, what I'm trying to say to you, Nick, is good for you.
Good for you.
Good for you.
Good for you.
GMFFBH means good morning. Freedom fighting dickheads. Thanks, Barb. Democrats create this mess in Minnesota. Biden and his administration allowed it to happen, and ICE gets the blame. Whatever. I know. Don't you cuss on this here radio. Robert Stone says, whoosh Tuesday, Vic heads.
Whoosh.
Goes to show how much Minnesota citizens pay attention to the real issues in their state. They are more politically motivated by democracy and woke issues than safety of each other. Whenever you hear an elected official say our democracy, you know they're full of it.
Screw your freedom.
That was Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
Screw your freedom.
Got it. Because it's not a democracy, it's a constitutional republic.
Right.
Good morning, freedom fighters. Thank you, Tom. Calvin Whitaker. Hey, good to see you. Calvin says, hey.
It's good to see you.
There he is. Grandson Grasser makes an appearance. Calvin, thanks, man. We love you. You're a good dude. Ed Stoid is one, and here we go. Oh, my God. He is just taunting the rest of the chat.
He is, yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. No fair elections.
No peace.
No fair tariffs.
Nope.
President, as the song says, I won't back down. Donald John Grover Cleveland Trump. That's right. Good morning,
St. Louis.
Good morning. Good morning, all you beautiful, mega, ultra-patriotic, deplorable, garbage, degenerate, freedom-fighting, God-fearing, big-head weirdos. Whoosh!
Whoosh.
Ed Stoit, representing. Good morning, Mr. Stoit. Oh, that's you, Ken. The GOP and conservatives in Missouri failed on the Missouri Clean Act. They got lazy and allowed the messaging to confuse voters. They got outspent and outsmarted. The GOP and conservatives in Missouri failed on Missouri Clean Act.
The Clean Act, I'm trying to remember, because remember, it was the exact opposite of what that clean meant.
It was Ed Stoit.
Remember? What was it about?
I don't remember.
I know. Because it was just something completely opposite of the Missouri Clean Act. You want clean, don't you?
Right.
I mean, vote yes.
Everything Democrats say, the opposite is true. Good morning, all freedom-fighting patriot Vic heads. Whoosh, my brothers and sisters. That's from the Duke.
Hey, Duke.
Whoosh. He says whoosh, whoosh. Buenos dias, ICE agents.
Say it with me. Si se puede.
That's from Paul. Hello, Vic, Ken, and all the chatters. That's Lunettes. PMS. PMS 3105. 30 years. What?
No, I don't know.
You got to be gentle. If there's PMS going on, you got to be gentle.
Right.
30 years as first responder, and I never once asked what political party they're affiliated with. Mission first, always the priority. What a real piece of stuff that nurse is.
Don't you cuss on this here radio.
Sorry. But when you're talking about a nurse practitioner and you don't care, and you hope Caroline Levitt's baby dies.
It's horrible.
And you hope she has terrible things happen to her.
Not to mention the fact that karma plays a big role here. If you keep saying stuff like that, I just think that it comes back around. I really do. You should never do that.
Lunette says, I was in an ER for treatment, and a nurse randomly started going on about the handmaiden crap. Totally random and unprovoked. It freaked me out. So here's what you do. If you're in the hospital and they start talking politics, just say, mi dispiace, no parlo inglese.
There you go. Okay, I wasn't expecting that, but that's a good idea too. But definitely do not give your opinion.
Oh, they'll let you die.
They could be fishing.
They will let you.
Seriously.
For fishing for MAGA.
Like, say, for example, you're in a room, right? You're and the nurse comes in, she's talking to you for a while. You kind of have a thing going, and she says, man, those stupid left-wingers, man, they're crazy, aren't they?
God,
and you look at her and you just go, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Mi dispiace, no parlo inglese.
Or I don't get involved in politics. I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't want to do that.
Right.
Oh, okay. And then she walks out. Oh, okay. Then you're going to be all right. You're okay.
I think he's MAGA, though.
We'll be watching you, though.
That was spring of 2024. Oh, what was? That was the ER nurse. Hi, Vic. Hi, Ken. Hi, y'all. Hey, good to see you. Give me a hey, good to see you, would you?
Hey, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, Grasser grandson.
Sweet doggy deli, man. It sure is hot out there.
Can you save that one for summer? Because it's like freezing out.
I know, but it just sounds so funny.
Staying in power makes politicians rich. Look at Pelosi and Omar. Ilhan Omar. Some are saying over $100 billion, but that might be an estimate of what they expect to find in California. Fraud they're talking about.
Yeah.
$100 billion. Here, let me say it again. $1 billion.
Well, we don't know about Minnesota. We really don't know the number. I mean, it could be anything. It could be 9. It could be 20.
Right.
We don't know.
Right. Keith Ellison was responsible for incorporating Muslim teachings in the state school curriculum.
Yeah.
Ellison, etc., they didn't get elected. They got installed. Voter fraud. We are in a fight with an evil force that will not stop until destroyed. At some point, as Dan says, cutesy time is over. Okay, we're not going to quote him anymore.
Oh, we can't.
No, I don't.
There's a good point that you made there, though. They were saying that they installed, and we were talking about how whether or not he was voted in. I think in Minnesota at that time it didn't matter,
right?
Because they had control of the voting fraud anyway,
right.
There's
plenty of fraud going
either
on.
one, yeah.
Ed Stoit says, "Well, slap my ass and call me fatty."
You better watch how you talk when you talk about me.
That's hilarious, he said. How do you know when you're out, right? The propofol kicks in,
right?
And you're out, unconscious.
You say, see you later.
Unconscious enough that when they put a catheter in you, you don't notice.
Right.
Right, because you're out cold. What keeps them from saying, look at this fat ass on the operating table here? Come on, fatty.
The visuals created there. And then 10 years later, you see a video.
Of what?
I don't know.
Me? Getting my ass slapped and called fatty?
Is that something else for you to worry about?
No. Well, slap my ass and call me fatty. The president needs to dig deep into who is funding all this on the left in Minnesota. Minneapolis, sorry. I hear that one of the left organizations, there is the same complex as the Mexican consulate. I saw a terrible video last night of cartel members riding motorcycles onto a soccer field dressed as police. And they were just mowing down soccer players.
Really?
Yeah. It was in Honduras, or I think it was Honduras. I mean, it's just crazy. All in, man. Our man Mike, all in.
Morning, St. Louis.
Wesley Bell aims to lower energy costs. Nurse union again backs Cori Bush. Miss Bush needs to get a job at a local hospital. They need cleaning staff badly. She was little to no chance of beating Bell. Suddenly the show is just taking a turn for the worse. Go ahead. Go do what you're going to do. Ken's answering phones. Heard an interview yesterday on birthright citizenship. The person said China is taking the most advantage of it. He said a Chinese man has 100 kids from here. Then they are raised in China. Wake up. All I can say is that Jessica's biological mom, Annette, chose adoption instead of abortion. If she hadn't done it that way, I wouldn't have my wife. Do you understand the importance and the long-term ramifications of adopting a baby or just giving your baby for adoption? And by the way, I am, I don't want to say in the middle of, I've started. It took me a long time to start it, and it took me too long. I'm kind of mad at myself for that, but we're working on it together, my wife and I. It is her biography. Jessica's don't talk about that until I'm done talking about this.
I got you.
I'm writing Jessica's biography.
Okay.
My wife's story. Get it?
Oh.
Like Elmer Fudd.
Yeah, right. My wife's story.
Right.
I like that. I like it.
And, you know, the first part, obviously, when she was just born on Christmas Eve, and back then, Ken, when you had a baby and you're going to give it up for adoption, you don't get to see it after you have it. You have the baby and they take it away and you never see it again. Annette wouldn't stand for it. She insisted they bring that baby back to me right now. And they did in a Christmas stocking because it was Christmas Eve. And she got to see Jessica one more time before she had to let it go.
Oh, wow.
And she went back to Coventry, England. All right, now what?
From South Africa.
This person's in South Africa?
I believe so. And she
Shut
she referenced she's listening to NewstalkSTL. What's your name?
Claudette Pretorius.
How you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Your name is Pretorius, like Oscar Pretorius, the Olympic?
No, that's Pistorius.
Oh, so close, though, right? I was so close.
Yeah.
Do you swear to God you're listening from South Africa right now?
Actually, no. I'm listening from St. Louis, but I'm actually in my home is South Africa. Yeah, I'm actually here in South Africa, in the U.S. because I have 2 children here.
All right.
Yeah.
So what's on your mind? What can I do for you?
Well, I just wanted to correct something that was said. You guys said that the chanting of Kill the Boer is from, you said Nigeria, I think?
I said Nigeria, yeah.
Yeah, it isn't. It's actually, Julius Malema is actually originally a Zimbabwean and then came to South Africa, got South African citizenship, and he's the one that's actually chanting.
Okay.
Kill the Boer. Yeah.
Which means kill the white people?
It kills the Boer is a Afrikaans word for farmer.
Oh,
So
the
what
farmers.
they're
That's right.
doing is they're attacking the farmers and not only the farmers, everyone. I mean, it's really bad. It's not.
So listen,
it's not at all.
I miss your first name. What was your first name?
Claudette.
Okay. What brought you to this show? What brought you to listening to the show?
I'm very much a conservative. So South Africans, we innately are conservative, most of us anyway. And so that's the biggest issue is that for me, the politics is I was watching the politics for many years prior to all of this going on, because my children came over, and so I formed an opinion early on, because, as I said, we are conservative by.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for calling us. We appreciate it very much.
Yeah, we do.
And call back anytime. Get in on the chat box. Talk to us in the chat. Do you listen on the radio or do you listen on the app?
I will. I listen on the app.
Okay, great.
I'm in the car at the moment, actually.
Okay, well, my goodness, please drive safely.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us on, and we appreciate you very much.
It's a pleasure. You have a great day.
Okay.
Take care.
How cool is that?
Yeah, I thought she said. I didn't know she was from St. Louis.
Don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay. They can be sent back here for college and to vote. Jabba the Hutt, the Illinois governor, Jabba the Hutt.
Oh yeah.
Told his lieutenant governor to say abolish ICE. It's an election year, and Jabba is losing voters, leaving to self-deport. We used to only hear the word impeach when someone seriously may have committed an offense. Now it's just a talking point to inflame sheeple.
Well, what it's used as is if they didn't win the vote, then they impeach.
Yeah. Drew said Newscomb spent $28 billion to solve homeless, but he also spent billions for no rail. Remember the light rail thing? The speed bullet thing? Drew is right. We're overrepresented. There should be 2 senators, 2 House representatives only from each state.
Yeah. Also, Pacific Palisades, it was on fire, and he's done really nothing about that.
What do you think about 2 senators and 2 representatives for each state?
I agree.
Instead of all the representatives. 50 senators, 50 representatives. 100 representatives, 100 senators.
Well, I don't know. That's something we have to look into about the representatives, because they have to be represented. The people.
No, I get it.
Yeah. I know what he's trying to do there, but you have to be represented. And I don't know if that could cover it all.
I agree. The rioters are the brown shirts of the Democrat politicians. They are the Nazis. If you don't want a child, don't have unprotected sex. Keeping your legs closed is a good form of contraception. When someone has a miscarriage and then never gets pregnant again and truly want a child, can't afford to adopt, then they get too old. It's devastating. I'm sorry.
And that's when someone, we need to figure out a way to make it easier or less expensive for people to adopt. That's that whole part of, okay, you want them to have the baby, what are you going to do to help? That's kind of the whole thing there, Vic.
Yeah, no doubt. But they should put a living baby up for adoption. I heard it's easier for a gay couple to get get an adoption for a child.
And that's insane if that's true.
Yes, idiots abort babies or have the child and abuse them, but couples who really want kids can't have one, and we make adoption a business transaction too. Sad. It depends upon where you live. It's much more difficult for a gay couple to adopt. Now, we're getting different stories here. They used to put children for adoption on the local newscast. Wow. I called once and was told we couldn't adopt that child because they'd be adopted by the time we got through the red tape. Channel 5 does a lot of that. These kids need a home, they're a foster home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you and I have talked about how our company that we used to work for actually supported, if you wanted to adopt a child, they would help pay for it or pay for it.
Right. Tracalero says this dude is saying Ashley Babbitt's death was 100% justified. Have people flipped on that now? I don't know who you're talking about that said that, but you're not going to hear that on this show.
No.
Only took Tobler until the end of the segment to get my ire up. There's no defense of the nurse killed by ICE. He made a major mistake. Should have went to work. You know, we got to go, don't we? Just hope we never have to be rushed for care. Don't wear a MAGA hat. Don't wear a MAGA hat and get hit by a car. What are you going to do? But it's crazy, you know?
Yeah.
Do no harm. Thank you for having the record player on at night. Listen to us this morning.
Make sure you have the record player on at night.
That South African lady was just adorable.
Victoria.
Jamie Allman is next. A 3 martini lunch. Get him going. Shaken, not stirred. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you, everybody.
Whoosh.
Looking for an underwater adventure or a scaly new friend? Dive into Tropical World Pets on Watson Road. For 32 years, this family-owned wonderland has been St. Louis's go-to destination for all things aquatic and reptilian. With over 7,000 square feet of aquariums, we're home to the area's largest selection of freshwater fish, including rare cichlids you won't find anywhere else. But that's not all. We've got tarantulas, snakes, and lizards galore. Tropical World Pets, 314-849-4020, or visit twpstl.com.
Why leave your company's story to chance? In today's digital world, video content isn't just an option. It's essential for your success. At Blue Ocean Media Group, we've spent decades crafting compelling visual stories for businesses just like yours. From concept to completion, our award-winning team transforms your vision into powerful video content that connects with your audience and drives results. Don't trust your brand to amateurs. Partner with Blue Ocean Media Group. Visit blueoceanmediagroup.com today, and let's bring your story to life.
Yo, this is Vic. Vic for Vets is proudly honoring our veterans. Every Wednesday at 11:05, you'll hear about that day's honoree and their incredible service to our country.
Hi, it's Ken. You want to nominate a veteran? Send their name, service information, and story to me, Ken, at NewstalkSTL.com.
Brought to you by Alamo Military Collectibles, Gemini Wealth Group, and Heroes Care.
Together, let's celebrate the heroes in our community. Vic for Vets, where honor meets gratitude.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. A new influx of Arctic air is expected to spur freezing temperatures in parts of the South already covered in snow and ice. Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves says it's hard to keep track of all the outages.
We reached a peak of about 180,000. That has now down below 150,000, but it's somewhat like whack-a-mole. Every time one of the utility companies and power companies gets a large group back online, we have another tree fall or we have another limb fall.
In Little Rock, Arkansas, landscaper David Nossinger says it's taking a lot of time to clear out enough snow so some businesses can reopen.
I spent 2 hours just clearing 2 parking spots with a piece of heavy equipment and open up an entrance closest to it, you know. Just there's no traction because it's so slippery.
At least 35 deaths have been reported in states afflicted with severe cold. That includes 3 young brothers who perished in Texas after falling through the surface of a frozen pond. A day-long hearing underway that should make clear exactly what caused that mid-air collision near Reagan.